Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of 13 Cards Subject to Change. And yes, the Guinness Book of World Records is still a thing. So we're going to get right into the show after that intro, because apparently...
It sounded like you almost lost it there for a second.
No. Pat McAfee gave me the intro of the show when he was like, that's still a thing? Yes, it is.
Listen, it's irrelevant. It's not on the island of relevancy.
It is now, because Natty keeps bringing it onto the island of relevancy.
It's a nice book.
Natty is irrelevant. All she needs to do is acknowledge me.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jesse. Leroy's over there as well. Natty is now a part of 4 Guinness Book of World Records. She's just not necessarily...
hold the last one.
She doesn't hold the 4th one, but she's a part of a 4th one.
I just said, it's in the Guinness...
That story worked out a little too well for me, and I'm like, I don't know why, but that was probably one of the most entertaining things they've done on that show in a while. We got a lot of stuff to get to. There's been a lot of mostly backstage non-wrestling stuff that's gone on this past week.
And you didn't mention... Oh, my God.
I was getting to it.
You didn't mention the lovely thing that I made for you?
Why do you always want me to rush to the shit that's in your fucking kitchen? Let me get to everything here,
all right.
Get to it. Jesse and I, Jesse wants...
I like that you did that. He deserves that.
He does.
I was getting to it.
All right. I was wondering.
So anyway, Jesse and I decided to get a little Jimmy John's before the show.
Yes, sir.
That was fun. We also showed up and got ourselves a nice little shake.
The man...
Mixed berry fruit smoothie.
Is just... a maker of good food.
If you want to come on this show, folks, we will feed you, and you will not be full.
Leroy,
you will not be hungry when you leave.
I know they showed up a little bit. I was going to bake something, but then they showed up earlier, so I didn't get a chance to bake anything.
Well, to be fair, Jesse needs to take some melatonin and get to sleep at some point in the next 34 hours.
Unfortunately, yes.
Jesse has to sleep at some point.
At some point.
So anyway,
I guess sleep more when we're dead.
Yeah, I guess where we start is, ladies and gentlemen, the ratings have dropped.
See, and that's Vince's problem. Continue, Zach.
Fair enough. The ratings have dropped for this past week's Dynamite.
Oh my God, what a shock.
They slipped below 1 million like we anticipated.
Yeah.
They also tied Raw in the key demo.
Yes, it did.
So what do you have to talk about this week, AEW fans? Technically nothing. We'll get to the results of the show in a little bit. Jesse, before we can talk about the results of Dynamite, because we have to.
Do we have to?
Cody Rhodes has spoken again. Leroy, do you know anything about this?
I think he's cleared and he can wrestle now again.
No. Jesse,
what else
you obviously don't know.
I believe that's Corey Graves you were thinking about.
That's Corey Graves. We're on Cody Rhodes.
I know. No. Cleared from his COVID shit.
Oh.
He was cleared on that a while ago.
Did he tweet something?
No, he actually spoke. That's the bad part. Anyway,
God.
So ladies and gentlemen, Jesse, are you ready for this?
So he's been hiding. He's been not wanting to tell me about this until we started the show. So
sorry, I got to do this.
Let's. Damn. So
you're welcome.
It's on Facebook. It's on Facebook. Boys,
let's find out.
All right. So Jesse, Cody Rhodes has recently said in an interview, "I regret almost everything about the Anthony Wake Me Up Before You A Go-Go storyline."
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Cody Rhodes, I will paraphrase because I know you hate hearing him drown on about things. First and foremost, he said it's probably not good that a white guy with an American flag tattooed on his neck was talking about race, number one. Number two, he gave Anthony a lot of props, but he said it just didn't come out like a classic American-British feud, which I don't know one we've had in wrestling in maybe 150 years. But...
because no one cares.
He also was reportedly supposed to go over to England for the rematch, but I think but I believe he said at the end of his statement, I'm just not that into it. No, Cody, we're not that into it.
Exactly.
We didn't want to see it.
Right.
Anthony Ogogo has so much ability to go do anything else with his career while he still has the eyesight. But Jesse, is there anyone more out of touch with what was happening than this man to sit there and say that, we kind of did it. I got so caught up with Brandy and the baby. Jesse, this was bad from the get-go.
First off, don't ever blame anything on the first ever biracial baby in Georgia history.
Atlanta, Georgia, specifically.
That's just number one. That's
bullshit. Sorry, it's up my throat.
That is blasphemous.
He's choking on these wonderful smoothies.
Right. To that angelic first ever Atlanta-born biracial baby.
Yes.
Number two, I unfortunately did hear this now that you brought it up.
Yeah.
But, it passed through my mind because anytime anybody from AEW speaks recently, it's horse shit. So I don't even care to listen to it anymore because I have enough things going on in personal life that when I go to pro wrestling, I just want to be entertained.
You want to escape reality.
I want to. If I'm watching Japanese, I want to see dudes beat the shit out of each other because I can't do it. Sure. I just want to enjoy things, so I don't listen to AEW personnel.
If I hear
piss you
The
off.
only person you want to hear from is Jerry Lynn, and they don't let him speak.
Well, if we hear from like our friend JDX or Top Flight, I'll listen to them guys.
You see, but
That's
they're
an
about
exception.
it. Like I said, personnel. So because we're gonna get to Candy's bitch ass,
We have to.
stupid ass, and then there's Cody.
Yep.
I mean, by the way, congratulations. The Young Bucks not only came back, but they actually fulfilled a role without non-selling for once. So, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Have they found
And then,
God again?
Of course, the guy who signs the checks. That guy likes to speak a lot. So, so usually when any of them have anything to say, I tune it out like a stubborn child.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I let the child throw the tantrum.
I agree. Bischoff already went after him again, told him to shut up comparing himself to WCW back in the day. And I totally agree.
For some strange reason, this is the land of nobody would give us a microphone, and now that we're able to purchase it ourselves, we won't shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's about right.
This is insanity.
Of course he regrets it. You want to know why he regrets it?
Because it was bad.
Because everyone knew it sucked.
From top to bottom.
From top to bottom. Like, no fan gave him credit for it. Nobody. By the way, he pulled a Triple H while he, sat there and pulled out the golden shovel as a joke. Once again, he technically took out the golden shovel and he buried Anthony Ogogo. Mm-hmm. Good job. Anthony, wake me up before you Ogogo back to Britain because you went through this bullshit.
Yeah.
So, the guy is delusional. I never thought I would say that about Cody Rhodes, but he's clearly lost his fucking mind.
It's so sad because when this started, the story's well documented between me and Jesse. Jesse had no expectations. He got into it.
Right.
I had them and then lost it. But we both always believed that Cody kind of had his shit going.
Yeah.
And now we realize, Jesse, from workshopping everything to a guy who also on this same broadcast said there are the Randy Savages of the world who mapped out everything.
Right.
And then there's my dad
Right.
who was more of a reactionary on the fly guy.
Right,
and
right,
I'm more
right.
of a I want to be prepared guy. But you're not preparing anything good.
No, he's not.
You're not actually preparing anything that we want to see. Jesse, their own fan base has given up on the man.
Dude, they boo him out of the building every time he's there. Listen, man, it's one of the weirdest downfalls within your own company I've ever seen. Because it's like, didn't you have Eddie go out there and talk about how, we are the company that listens to our fans? Well, I don't know if you guys are listening, Cody, but you're getting booed every time you go out there.
Jesse, he's getting booed when his wife shows up. His brother is now getting booed randomly from the crowd, but they can't hate on Dustin because he's technically not a part of this bullshit.
No, he's just being a supportive brother.
But
By the way, still wrestling at a high level at age 50. But
there's a reason he was called the Natural, because
Right.
God gave him just
unnatural ability
to still do this.
Dustin is very, very special. But
Oh
I
my
just,
God.
I don't under. It's the old comedian thing. I don't understand. So remember, there was a Vine with the African father, and the kids are kind of going up, and he's trying to say hi to his son and his friend, and they don't talk to him, and he jumps around and says, "I don't understand," and he slaps the shit out of both kids.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I feel about Cody, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega.
Do you know what Cody does for us? It gives us reason to go poop.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
I would rather
To
go
be-
take a dump than
to be
watch
fair,
him.
Jesse,
I'm getting there.
To be fair, Jesse,
It's so true.
What is I think we have to play devil's advocate for a second. We have to. I'm sorry. At least the good news is he found a woman that is as delusional and fame hungry as he is.
No. It's worse.
That's what I'm saying.
It's worse than that?
She's worse than that.
Oh, she's so
okay.
bad. It's
I thought
ridiculous.
she was just as bad.
It was
or worse.
funny because I gave her credit because when she came back, she was just on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Yep.
And
That's
which
good.
I'm like, good.
Because nobody watches it.
Like, you son of a bitch. You got me.
You're welcome.
To be fair, Jesse had 7 people in Siberia.
You know what?
dude.
To be
Oh,
fair to
yeah.
you, when
They
you
showed
say,
Dark to Siberian prisoners
For torture?
Yeah.
They stopped playing us for them, and now they're doing
exactly.
A-Dyke. All
you
right.
said nobody watches it, and when you included me, that just nailed the whole nobody watches it.
Nobody and Jesse watches it.
Right. Like,
Fair enough.
one person and mystery people watch this.
Yes.
They're
all in a focus group, but they don't know
right,
each other.
right, and we just don't know each other yet. Here's the thing.
I watched it for 10 minutes.
It was one thing when she was coming back, retraining herself after having the baby. I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Because she's not trying to steal the spotlight. And then 2 weeks. It only took 2 fucking weeks.
Yep.
And one Dan Lambert, by the way, that guy, he used to cut good wrestling promos.
The problem is now, Jesse, and you can see, he's literally just being told to read a transcript of the Jim Cornette experience.
Probably.
That's basically what they have him doing.
Probably.
He is Jim Cornette light. They can't afford Jim Cornette.
I mean, well, first of all, Tony can clearly afford him.
Well, yeah, he just doesn't want to pay
So
him.
just pay him.
Yeah, just do it.
I mean, if you just want Jim to come up there and talk shit for cash, I'm sure Jim would be happy to do it.
Send him a bus. Jim won't fly, but Jim will drive down.
Jim clearly has nothing better to fucking do at this point.
You pay us enough, we'll do the same thing.
Exactly.
So here's the thing, man.
Jesse, I hate to say it, but you and I were talking off mic about how right now there is a lack of diversity in the NFL, which is weird because the players are like what, 80% African American now.
I think they said it's 78% majority black in the NFL now.
Okay, so
Players.
but Jesse,
Cool.
Jesse, as Shannon Sharp has said numerous times on Undisputed, it's about changing the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, Brandy's been given an opportunity that many talented black folk never had,
Right.
but she's just proving she ain't talented. I hate to say it, but she's ruining a beautiful opportunity for a young minority.
Because here's the thing with her.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Stephanie McMahon like, but at least back then we could clearly tell that they barely cared about the women's division.
Yeah.
This is. I want my shine inside this women's division that has now become top heavy.
Oh,
because,
it's top heavy as hell.
Because to be
Top
to be
heavy
fair,
like Dolly Parton.
I was gonna say, where's the soundbite of LeBron James going, "We're top heavy as shit," and it's like we need that.
Yeah, listen, LeBron at this point.
I'm talking about his dad in Cleveland, but I understand. But no, I understand right now. He's a
But
problem.
yeah, because here's the thing.
he only has one problem, and sadly, it's a point guard.
And AEW has like 7 of them.
Yeah.
And they're mostly in executive. So
Yep.
here's the thing. So instead of doing what she was doing, coming back and being
sorry.
a part
Sneeze.
of Dark Elevation, bless you, good sir. What she decides to do is once again, we have to go back to the Nightmare Factory storylines that make no fucking sense.
Yep.
Also, now included into the Nightmare storyline for no good reason, is Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
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 Who caused his own drama. I won't get into details,
Right.
but what is up with this company? Like I said, Kenny Omega going out there fucking arguing with fans. Dude, the original post that he got upset at.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to just get into Kenny at this point?
yeah, because I'm done with Cody. I'm done with Cody and his frustratingly hot but stupid wife. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the
Your
thing.
beautiful baby is not included. I just hope that the baby. I hope the
Duct
generation.
tape on mouth. And
I
just
hope
be
the
fine.
next generation loses the.
I hope the baby is around his brother
Thank you.
because that's a good man.
Go around Uncle
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Be raised by Uncle.
Yes.
Uncle, good person.
Yes.
You delusional dad. Let me.
And mommy.
Well, I'm not even getting to her anymore. Apparently, I don't like my own people's women, which is just bullshit. I've dated mostly black girls in my life. Thank you for commenting, and I appreciate that. Here's the thing.
We appreciate the comments, but like I said, it's one thing to get an opportunity and then succeed at it. It's another thing to get an opportunity that many other people should have gotten and just literally shit a brick.
I'll just say Nightmare Collective and move on. That's all I need to say about Brandi
Which, by the way,
anymore.
they even just dropped.
Right. They knew it was terrible.
They literally just gave
They
up.
knew it was trash.
The one time it was actually on Dynamite was that wonderfully awful segment involving Riho and Chris Statlander, where they basically killed Chris Statlander for no reason.
For no reason. Here's the thing. Kenny Omega decides he's upset and has to defend the company because people were pointing out how, like, well, it was a group, by the way, and it was their own fans.
Yeah.
Who feel a lot of the same way you do about the Adam Cole stuff right now. People...
Let me preface before you go into say this. People have to understand something. I love Adam Cole. Mm-hmm. I think Adam Cole, and Jesse will quote me on saying this, is this era's Shawn Michaels. Yeah. He could have been Shawn Michaels in any era. He is a generational talent.
Yes,
he is.
And at fucking 17 years old, I believe, he walked into Ring of Honor, and even Jim Cornette said, this motherfucker's got it.
Right.
The problem is that the one thing that no fan has ever been able to argue, and they've never brought it into a conversation. I will, because I try to bring everything into a conversation.
Right.
But WWE is the master of production. Everything looks like a superstar talent when WWE is producing it. They have the best recaps. They have the best packages. We all know that the Invasion storyline was shit, but the video that recapped the Survivor Series match with my boys Puddle and Mud, it made you think it was one of the greatest storylines in the history of wrestling. Even though you watch it start to finish, it was absolute horseshit.
It was all ass.
Horseshit.
it was all ass.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
But my point is this. Adam Cole and Jim and Brian have pointed it out, and now Jim can't unsee it. Adam Cole is in the land of, we don't understand the production value of things, because now apparently every good production person is retiring to AEW. They're not like I think they just had a guy retire. He did a couple WrestleManias. I mean, he was a great backstage guy.
Right.
And for some reason, I guess they didn't hire the guy that did the CM Punk cuts.
Nope.
Even though that guy's got a legendary history of World Series production, WrestleManias. That guy's resume was just given.
Right.
But the thing about it is that
because he's too good, that's why they don't want him.
No, but my point, probably. He makes them all look bad. But my point is this: Adam Cole, for the first time in, I'll give him 7 years, because those last couple of years in ROH, he looked good because of the footage.
Right.
It was mostly fan footage, but you understand. Adam Cole is looking small. He's looking like another guy on the roster.
Right.
WWE put him in a group. They were each one had their own personality.
Right.
Adam Cole was clearly the leader.
Right.
Adam Cole spoke.
Right.
Yes, it was written down material, but Adam Cole made it his own.
Right.
Adam Cole no longer looks like a star. He looks like another dude on the roster.
Right.
You may continue.
So that's where the criticisms were. Also, I think what really shoehorned him now into criticizing the fans back, which, by the way, and the way he did it was insanely childish, was the fact that they were getting on him about the thing I've been talking about for ages, the women's division, because he was the one.
But he doesn't book it anymore.
Well, bullshit, because he was the one who came
does.
out and said, "Oh yeah, I still work with the women." And their own fans, it was funny because I just got sent this stuff on Twitter. I was like, "Oh well, this
was
is
he
amazing."
ever involved with anything backstage with Stardom? Did he?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So what you're telling me is he had no experience booking Joshi women over in Stardom, and obviously the Western women that were in Stardom.
He's worked with Joshi wrestlers, but that is literally it. That's literally, he's only worked with the Joshi wrestlers.
Because Jesse, I think people don't realize this is Kenny, and I think the Bucks had a little bit to do with their own shit in PWG and in ROH.
Right.
But this is Kenny's first real office job in wrestling.
Right. I'm pretty sure it is.
New Japan wasn't having Kenny in the office.
Kenny got his input, but in New Japan, you know who runs shit.
Yeah.
And that little short dude ain't hard to find. He's very, very loud.
Yes.
Kato is a very loud man. So So you took it personally, and his retort was, "Nana nana boo boo, you stink too. You don't have to watch." You're right, Kenny.
We don't.
We really don't have to fucking watch. But what if we love pro wrestling, and some of those were constructive criticisms, and we just want to see you do better?
Yeah.
Is that so wrong? Like, so there's this old footage, of course, when Triple H did the, the angry fan promo, where he was talking about how, like, me and Johnny, we're going to write an angry letter. It was when they were in the Authority. He was in the Authority.
Yeah.
And like I told people at the time,
It was a great promo, by the way.
I'm like,
I enjoyed
insanely
it.
funny, because Paul does have his funny moments. But also, I get why people are like, kind of childish to sing all those people. Like, we get it. We hear them. They're very loud when it comes to WWE.
Yeah.
But, like, there's no point in that, because that just, that exacerbates the whole, like, oh, they don't really give a shit about
Right, yeah,
this
exactly.
thing.
No, I understand.
So, and Triple H, even later on, during interviews on ESPN, said, was it the best idea? Probably not.
No.
He did a wink and a nod to us. Who knows? He's had worse ideas, quote unquote. Cough, cough, Katie Vick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
That
I was a
happened.
13-year-old kid. That happened.
Yep.
That was the first time I think my dad was almost like, "Yeah, you're done watching this."
It's not great.
Oh, I screwed your brains out. Anyway, but because of Twitter, he got smart. You know what? If I ever respond to criticism, I will respond to it constructively.
And I know that Hunter's the one tweeting, but like you said, it's coming off like it's somebody doing it for him, because he just knows not to respond.
And if you do, as he's done in the past,
Yeah.
you do it constructively. You know what? I hear you. It's something we're going to work on. That's simple.
That's all he says.
Even if the old man's like, fuck it, like, or sorry, in this case, if it's,
Thank you. We're not even miking Vince anymore. Vince is just speaking. We'll fix it in the truck.
Talks over there. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. We'll fix it in the truck.
So, but not Kenny, not the Bucks,
No.
not Cody. Can just understand. Like, you are the ones that had the press conference. You took the shots. You continuously, because you let CM Punk do it all the time, you continuously take the shots.
I want to clarify one thing. In their defense, no one's telling Phil what to do. We all know that. The second they try to tell him, he's just going to pull a usual Phil Brooks and he's going to walk out.
He's just a bitter man. Anyway,
Yeah, he just might.
He's just fucking bitter. But,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things, like, you guys continually take shots. WWE took the first shot I've seen them take in a long time against AEW.
Was that the Edge Miz thing?
So they put out a presser after the thing talking about how, well, listen, we saw that the ladies did the really gory match.
And to be fair, you and I did not criticize the match. We criticized why was it A, on your Friday show,
Right.
and B, why were we supposed to care to the level that you're showing us when
Right.
it's like everything that happened was on your YouTube show.
Right.
These girls did not have a 4 or 5 week run on Dynamite.
No.
They didn't have anything on Rampage.
No.
All of a sudden, I'm supposed to care about a street fight.
Right.
That again, everything was built on the YouTube
Right,
show that
right.
you will not talk
Right.
about.
Right. And
So we weren't mad at the match. We were
Right.
mad at the booking.
right. And then so here was the other thing. Like, so WWE goes, listen, it's a gore fest, but you know what? If that's what their audience likes, it's not what we do anymore. And they acknowledge we did a lot of this in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they also, and the presser went, listen,
You can easily look at that as them saying, "Well, we just don't want to be
Well,
edgy."
listen,
but at the same time,
well, they were saying, like, we don't do any of that now because we understand in this day and age the optics, especially with us working with networks like ESPN, ABC, Disney.
yes.
The optics looks terrible.
The problem is that Jesse, this is, as I've said, they don't have to answer to anyone, they being AEW, so they can do this kind of stuff,
Right.
and no one's going to say anything because, and by the way, folks, for those of you like, well, they have to answer to Turner. Turner threw him on the network no one cares about. Turner doesn't give a shit.
They literally threw him on the Comedy Network.
They don't
Well,
care.
yeah, they don't care.
WCW had like 6 executives in the
they did.
from Turner in every
Right,
day,
they did.
let alone every week.
Yeah.
You guys literally might have one Turner person show up a week and be
They
like,
were-
okay, why are we paying for this still?
They were up Bischoff's ass constantly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, man.
The only guy that cared about you at Turner no longer works at Turner.
Because here, the biggest problem that I've had with Kenny is it's another like it's almost like once again it's delusion.
Yeah.
It's not understanding. If you constantly hear, even if some of it is a little bit overboard, if you're constantly hearing the same criticism, even if you don't respond to the stuff that goes overboard, shouldn't you at least start to look into the criticism itself? Because now it's starting to become constant from your own fan base. Don't you? If you want to get better, don't you go, maybe we should look into that? No, we just get defensive and we get pissed off and we lash out. So I am convinced now that AEW only gets better because the wrestlers that they have there are capable of making it better, because the people in charge are children. They're fucking children. And it's depressing.
It's getting bad.
No, I'm officially depressed by it because I'm just it's like I don't know how it gets better. I want it to be better.
Yeah.
Like I actually want them to compete with WWE because I think when WWE actually has legitimate, which they are kind of competition, but they're not head-to-head constant, hey, we get 1.5.
Well, but not only that, Jesse, the problem is that once again, if you're Vince, you won not because of the product. You won because of the business staying stable, staying relevant,
right?
And everything worked. You had your house, your ducks were in a row, basically. Right. He constantly has people reporting back to him, Vince does, that this company doesn't have the ducks in a row.
Right.
So sadly, I'm not mad that Vince doesn't care. Because I'm sorry, would you care when constantly every week you keep getting the same report that, oh, they can't figure this out. Oh, they can't figure it out. It's not Vince's fault they're not competition, and it's not his fault he's not taking them seriously, because no one can take them seriously. Because as you point out, the fucking golden boy is now arguing with the people that pay his salary.
It's insane. It's insane.
He's arguing with their fans. This wasn't a WWE heavy Twitter.
No, it wasn't.
This was literally an AEW group.
It was AEW fans.
Yes. And they weren't wrong.
No, and like I said,
no.
Did some of the comments go overboard? Yes.
Well, obviously it's the internet.
But to be fair, as I keep saying, hey, Young Bucks, you created this in fucking 2011. You created this.
Bring us back a little bit to that.
So, like I said, back in 2009, 2010, there were a ton of us who had been watching WWE since we were kids.
Yeah.
Who were like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
They clearly don't care what we think anymore.
Right.
Like this, John Cena's run was starting to hit Triple H levels of toxic. It felt like
it was,
and it was just like, you know what?
Which to this day, John definitely regrets.
Right. And we were just like, there's got to be something else out there. And so we all turned ourselves to the indie scene.
Yeah.
Well, the indie scene at that point started to grow.
It did.
And these two young kids who had already kind of been on TV, but of course flamed out, were starting to kind of really make their name on the scenes. Their name is Nick and Matt Jackson. And they put on...
I love how you put them in the order of talent level.
Yeah, of course I did. I have very little to no respect for their personalities. Yeah. But I actually do respect Nick as a wrestler.
Yeah. Matt's also the one who tries to talk, which is the problem.
He's an ass clown.
God.
He really is an ass clown. So, but these guys, and like I said, back then I was never the biggest fan, but I understood the adulation.
You did, yeah.
I understood why you guys would stand in line for them. I was never going to be that guy back then.
I understand.
But I was like, you know what? I get it, because they are constantly interacting with the fans at these shows. PWG, held down in Chicago. Like, they were always interacting with people during the shows, before the shows. That by the way, all the other wrestlers did as well.
Yeah.
And it felt like, man, this is what I've been missing.
I'm literally wearing the shirt today.
The Bullet Club shirt.
As to why they were essentially so popular. towards the end
and
of
then
their
Bullet Club helped them to get even more popular. So
even though people will always say, well, the Bucks were Bullet Club, maybe on the T-shirts they were, but let me tell you something. Tama Tonga was not about to allow nobody to walk in there and just all of a sudden
let's be very clear. They were a part of Bullet Club.
Yes.
But they were really the elite. They've always been the elite. That's who they've always been.
And Tama made sure of that.
And then Tama made it very clear.
Yes.
Tama and his brother have always made that very clear. They're the elite boys.
Yeah.
Now, Kenny was always considered more Bullet Club because he actually tried to embrace it, including the Japanese culture, which we all try to give him credit for.
Yeah.
It's not working right now.
No.
But we did try to give him credit for. And so this movement started, and it got large and large. And at 2012, it was at its peak where you started to see the fan takeover of like WWE shows.
Yeah.
Well, that was the indie crowd going like, well, if you know what, if you're gonna give me a shit product when I come and I pay my hard-earned money to hopefully see you guys do well, but we're gonna take over the show. Now, like I said, that was an asshole thing for some of us to do.
Yeah.
And as the years passed, it got better because it was like, okay, you know what, if they're just gonna give you a bad product, just go take a dump. You know, try to go get a couple interviews after the show and then move on.
Yeah.
Nick, you know, the Bucks go to Japan. A lot of these guys end up going to Japan. So a lot of us started to follow New Japan because we started seeing all of our favorite indie wrestlers going over there.
And you guys stuck around for what was the homegrown product.
Right.
Basically.
And well, because what we discovered with New Japan was this is a different style of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But in Japan, it's on the WWE scale as far as their production.
Definitely.
And so, 100%. But the style was so visceral that we were like, we can get behind this kind of storytelling.
Right, yeah.
And then, you know, kind of 2016, a lot of us did, 2017, 2016, a lot of us did start to come back to WWE. Like, you know what? I like the three young faces in the Shield.
Yep.
Because Moxley already had a really huge following on the indie scene.
He did.
He did.
Being there for so long.
Well, so did Seth. I mean, people forget Tyler Black.
Tyler Black, yes.
If you were a super nerd, then yeah, you were a fan of Tyler Black because you saw like, man, this kid's really good.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, everyone will tell you, back in 2013, no one actually thought he was ever going to get that shot to go to NXT.
Right.
Because he was such the high flyer indie guy. People were like, there's no fucking chance he's going to get that shot. But he got it, and a lot of people were happy.
He's been able to really slow it down.
Right.
See, people always
We
think,
saw Kevin.
Yeah.
You know, when Kevin got the call, for, you know, and everyone was constantly seeing him in PWG and all this. And Kevin gets the call. Sammy gets the call. And it was just like...
Who was the biggest surprise for you guys? Was it Tyler Black?
Actually, no.
Was it Generico?
It was Sammy. It was... I think Sammy was always like... It's like, unless... you know, like...
He was the talented friend of Steen.
Well, here was the thing. Unless... To us, it was like, unless Impact can ever get their shit together, and at that point, it felt like they were just a dead company.
Yes.
We're like, there's no way
they
he's
are.
ever
God, how many times have we...
They are the zombie promotion.
How many times have we felt that way with them, guys?
And they're back again, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They're back again.
Jesse says it every week, watch Impact.
Like Marcus says in the PWO, and I will say on the show, watch Impact. Watch it.
Well,
give it a shot.
if they're working with Vince and WWE...
We'll get to that in a little bit because there's more on that.
Well, and I mean, just like I said,
know.
But back to your point.
The work he's been doing, but it's just the Bucks and Kenny, and by the way, Cody, we gave a lot of love to because when he came down,
he embraced everything.
He actually embraced everything.
Yeah.
And so, like when he turned the heel character, it was because he knew where he came from in WWE. And it was his brother Dustin who was like, well, play that shit up.
Stick your nose up to what is basically a step down for you.
Right. And so people got behind him as a heel.
Because, Jesse, no offense to the beauty that you and I love in terms of January the 5th,
right.
the original name of Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
WrestleMania is still that show. Cody had worked a WrestleMania.
He's been at a couple of them.
Yeah, exactly. So technically, even Wrestle Kingdom was a step down.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
So
to the character, at least.
It was one of those things now, when these guys go do that press conference, at first you're thinking, okay, well, they're clearly announcing this company. You know, we had heard the rumors they were talking to Shad Khan's son. Of course, we all know Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, a super billionaire. with just money to blow. And you're
and apparently, as we learned now 4 years into this company, the worst parent ever.
Like I said, he might be the worst dad ever.
Maybe.
I can only gather from the fact that he's allowing his son to literally do nothing but blow millions and millions and millions of his dollars that he must have been such a bad father. He's trying to make up for it in the dude's 30s.
I said this last week.
He might be, yeah.
I'll take the heat for it, but I did say that last week. So here's the thing. So when the son comes up and then Chris Jericho comes to it, it's like, okay, this is tangible.
Yeah.
But like I said then, because at first I heard about the press conference and I was like, all right, well, let's see. And then I already saw it. I'm like, shot after shot after shot at the guys up in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. I'm like, at some point, you have to prove that you're going to be worth their time, because the only person who proved that he might be worth them even signing if you guys want to start this company, to me at the time, was Kenny Omega. And like I said, Cody could always go back.
I still think Pac was a big thing, because again, Pac leaving.
But Pac ended up signing later on.
True.
Because remember, he was actually doing Dragon Gate there really hard for about.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, go watch that Dragon Gate run he had after he left WWE.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a run.
Oh yeah. That
was a hell of a run. By the way, rest in peace to former Dragon Gate alum Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Love you, Bob.
Bob Saget was in Dragon's Gate before.
Man, that was sad. Yeah. That was really sad.
That was rough.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Since I saw that press conference, that's when I was like, I'm not trying to be a WWE guy, but if I'm going to start a company to compete against Vince,
you wouldn't even acknowledge Vince.
I wouldn't even acknowledge
You
Vince.
wouldn't even talk about him.
And if I did, I would do it in respect. Like, yeah, you know what? I plan on competing against a guy who got me into pro wrestling. If you want to use
past canon wrestlers' gimmicks
right.
in their own shit, that's fine.
Right.
Not to the level that Phil is doing, because it's just it's nauseating at this point.
It's
extremely.
It's very 1996 bitter Bret Hart.
Yeah.
That's what it's 1996 bitter Bret Hart, it's ugly.
No one has. It's interesting because recently they had a question on the corny drive-thru. We'll transition into that for a second, because I think it's worth mentioning. Mm-hmm. Why are people still sympathetic towards Bret when the years have kind of shown Vince did the only thing that he was backed into a corner to do based on the reports,
right.
But the love of Bret in Canada is one thing. The love of the fact that Bret was a wrestler,
right.
Because we don't get a lot of wrestling anymore. We get a lot of entertainment.
Right.
We get why there's still Bret defenders, but
right.
if you want to be honest with it, Bret, you're bitter over the fact that you didn't want to do a job which had been done for years before. It's not like Vince was the first promoter that said drop the title before you walk out the door.
That was just a well-known thing in pro wrestling. If you're going to leave the company, drop the title.
And if the Hart family, and again, I'm not here to smirch the wonderful name
right.
of the Hart family, but if you're so much a part of one of the most beloved dynasties in wrestling,
right.
then you get the business.
Right.
You've dealt with more than one promoter,
right.
good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
So again, the bitterness of you having to do a job, and the other thing about it is if we compare Bret to Phil,
right.
Phil, they weren't asking you to leave. They were just saying job for a couple of months
right.
while we try to build somebody else. That's all it was.
Because here's the thing. He was bitter because, of course, when The Rock came back...
You need a spoon to stir that now?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah.
When The Rock came back, he got bitter because should he have been in the main event as a champion? Maybe. But it's been done a few times even before then, where guys have not been the champions and been the main event.
And by the way, I think Phil is actually the beginning.
Anybody remember, I think it was Hogan and the Powers against, what was it? It was...
You might know this, Leroy.
It was Roddy and somebody else. And they headlined in WrestleMania.
Was that Paul Orndorff?
No. That was like
Didn't
the
they bring
first
in a celebrity
one.
or something?
I think that was the second one, wasn't it?
No, the second was something different. No, the Powers. You mean
him and Randy?
Him and Randy. That was not said. That was later on, and when they went against, that was against $1 Million Man and Zeus.
It was Hogan. It was Hogan and Mr. T.
Okay.
Mr. T, that was number 1.
Yeah,
That was the first wrestling.
That was the
meeting.
first
And
wrestling.
that headline, and by the way, Hogan wasn't champion.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hogan wasn't champion.
I don't think he was. We were
You can look that up.
But Jesse, my point,
I know most of his run, he was always champion.
Right. But my point there is that Jesse, arguably, Phil is the guy who started this idea that so many wrestlers have, which is just because you think you're something, go get it now. Don't sit there and be a little patient.
Right.
And by the way, Jesse, you got mad that WWE couldn't build stars. Well, Phil's sitting there saying, what about all this? But yet, Phil, you wanted that spotlight. They were trying to build someone. You were still there. You were still featured upper mid-card.
Right.
You were going to get back in the main event, but they had to establish new stars. So arguably, Phil might have been the beginning of, okay, this guy deserves it now, not necessarily when he's ready.
Right.
I mean, not that he wasn't that guy, but he stopped them from building because he was such a crybaby. I'm sorry, but I mean, Jesse, and not to mention that it wasn't like he wasn't given a mic every night. It wasn't like he wasn't working with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
It wasn't like he wasn't working with Paul Heyman.
He's working with top guys.
Exactly, but he wasn't coming out on top.
Right.
That was the. And by the way, people don't want to hear that about Phil Brooks because they want him to stand by. I walked out because I felt I deserved better. No, you walked out because you didn't get what you wanted.
Right.
It's not what you felt you did. See, the wording's messed up. You added more words to confuse us. What I deserved. No, it's what you wanted.
Plus, like I said before, if you were going to quit, then just finish the job for
Cesaro.
I think it was Cesaro.
Yeah, because Cesaro became the Stone Cold in that situation.
Right.
Because remember, Cesaro became Brock. Because remember, Stone Cold wouldn't do the job to Brock.
Because it's just like, do the job for Cesaro. They're going to let you out the contract since you want to leave.
Yeah.
And then, take the rest of the money and do whatever you were going to do, which was kind of nothing. But do whatever you were going to do.
Well, he got his face beaten in the UFC twice.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, man.
You can't just leave Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for that many years and then come back and face a guy who's
Or
still training it.
as Brock found out, you can't, even though he was a freak athlete, you can't just think, oh, I can go do the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Bruh, you haven't played football
Since
in
high school.
10 years.
Since high school, yep.
It's damn near impossible to go do that shit now.
That sport especially because, and it's like baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
It's all fundamentals. You can kind of pick it back up.
Right.
But the athletes that get every year, football brings you another 12 to 50 athletes where you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Guys who were former track stars that got muscle.
God made you different.
Right.
That's what that is. But Jesse, it's interesting because now we get to your boys running AEW there. Your boy TK.
Oh man.
Anthony here. Anthony, not Anthony, wake me up. Anthony, I'm already awake because I'm on Adderall. Basically, Jesse, you and I talked about this earlier. WWE releases people.
You know what I'm also tired of with TK?
You want to say that before we get into everything else?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
You know what gets old to me, Leroy, is seeing the fucking videos of him coming out and thanking the fans. You got the wrestlers there. You're paying them. Why do you need to do that?
Yeah.
What you got to be buddy with your fans? Like, what is going on?
Vince, Jesse, you said your dad met Vince on a number of occasions.
Right.
But he knew the separation between knowing your dad was an employee and shaking his hand,
right,
and then having a beer with him after the show.
Right.
Nothing against your dad there, there was a separation that Vince always kept.
Correct.
Vince always kept that.
Well, here's the thing, man. It's like it feels desperate.
Yeah.
Like
you're almost asking them watch my promotion.
We love you guys so much that I come out after the show and want to, thank you guys for coming out, and
he's literally kissing the fans' ass.
Really, and it's just like, what? Just put on a better show.
Yep.
Let. One thing I like.
By the way, they couldn't even go 2 weeks on TBS to hit 1 million.
I know.
They couldn't do it.
I know. And
good luck getting that audience back.
Because what I like that Vince does, hey, my main event stars are already out there. You guys send them home happy.
Yeah.
After we tape whatever we're going to tape, go back out there. We'll do a special dark match.
It's a joke in the business. Never mention Vince unless he's there. Mm-hmm. Never talk about him. When you do your Hall of Fame, don't thank him.
Right.
Everyone's told the same thing. But again, Vince Vince knows when it's time to be an on-air character and when it's time to be the business man.
Right.
Whereas I don't think Tony gets that separation. Now, Jesse, Jesse, the word released sometimes gets a very bad rap.
Because it's technically, they've been fired from the contract.
Right. Now, we were talking on the way here with some lovely Jimmy John's in our
Delicious
pocket.
food.
Oh, I love it. They do the same thing Vince does without the wording.
They basically go, well, we're not going to actually put you on anything, so we're probably going to let you go. We're still half and half paying you when you go do any promotion stuff.
Here's the problem, folks.
I got that WrestleMania. Yeah, he was champion.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was champion, and he won just before the WrestleMania 85.
Oh, okay.
But
so he was a champion, but it was just a take.
Oh, okay.
But since it was the first one, Vince was like, "Let's get celebrities in here." I don't know if the wrestlers are going to carry this.
It was a Rock and Roll Connection. That was the first one.
Thank you.
Now, okay, but Jesse, it's interesting because there are guys who don't play in the now formerly fourth but last preseason game in the NFL because if they get hurt, they're stuck on your roster.
Right.
They're not going to play you because they're literally just going to send you packing.
Right.
If a wrestler gets hurt, you're stuck with them for another 6 months or however long they're injured.
Right.
So they're just not going to put you on dark elevation.
Right.
So Tony's doing this because remember, Tony comes from his dad. He knows football. He's playing the NFL game here with the talent.
Well, somebody
I wanted you to clarify NFL because if you were going to talk about soccer, I know about 30,000 fans that would love to break his neck.
Oh, yeah. Fulham is not a Premier League team anymore, and they are far from getting back to that league.
Well, I don't remember when that
I sadly now follow Fulham just for the show to try to keep up on my Fulham soccer. They're bad.
They are bad. Go ahead, Leroy.
Somebody put, and I don't remember.
They're a good Champions League team, but they're not.
Yeah, I don't remember when the article was put up, but somebody was talking to some of the AEW guys backstage. There's a lot of people backstage who are not happy with all the new people they're signing because they're all sitting back and catering.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second here. Where I was going was Jesse. So release means
fired.
that
sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Right, Jesse. Release means fired.
Yeah.
But if you just let the contract expire, you're not technically releasing them. You're allowing them to search other venues. Now hold on.
Technically speaking, I have to agree with that. Yeah.
I have a list here.
Oh shit.
AEW will likely not be renewing the contracts for quite a few of their wrestlers, and here's a small taste of who those people are. And by the way, it's sadly kind of a who's who of people that were on Dark, who have been put on Dark, but were on Dynamite a lot when the show started. Do you want me to go the list, or do you want me to go biggest star down? Because there's not a lot of huge.
Well, I know Marcus Stunt's on the list.
Well, no one cares about Marco Stunt.
And Brian Cage for sure is on
Brian
that list.
Cage,
go for it.
Marco Stunt, and Helico, and Jack Evans,
for sure.
Which is weird because they were just featured recently.
Yes, they were.
They were. Yeah.
They were part of the CFO.
Hard to believe you couldn't find something to do with Frankie Kazarian, but it looks like they're not going to let him stay. Your boy Kip Sabian's not going to be renewed. Peter Avalon, who never even really wrestled for them.
The only thing he's known for is the losing streak, which was entertaining.
Yeah.
But
and now
done right, it can be better.
And now we get into Leva Bates, who was barely ever used. She was never even really.
It's so funny. So you signed a young woman who had only been in wrestling for about 3 years, kind of getting better on the scene. You told. I believe the story is, it's not been confirmed, but the rumor story is they told her not to use the pedigree because they were worried. Which, by the way, I don't know why. So it's the same reason. So Aaron Solo also used to use the pedigree on the indie scene.
Yeah.
Triple H, and why now Aaron just uses it now, Triple H has been open about, well, I used the original move maker of that was a Japanese wrestler.
Yes. Which, by the way, to Hunter's credit, he's always acknowledged.
Right. So, like, I never changed the name. The pedigree is just it had a Japanese name. I just can't remember.
And it also fit his character at the time when he started.
At the time when he started, but it just
when he almost killed the one guy.
Oh God!
Unfortunately, yes.
Because the guy jumped too fucking high.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. So you made them change their finishers, which changed their identities.
Hard to believe.
And then all of a sudden you don't want to use them. Leva Bates, who got buried because you just the women you started signing too many women.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah.
We got a couple more people here.
Go ahead.
Serpentico, who again was mostly used as a paid fan during the pandemic era.
He's a jobber for them.
He was with Luther, who, by the way, was Jericho's buddy that they gave a
by the
contract
way,
to.
He's another one, and I'll be gone.
Yep. Your boy, knock it the fuck off.
Not gonna apparently ever wrestle on fucking American television.
Yep.
We've got Sonny Kiss, who
I just cleaned that.
I know,
yeah.
Jesus.
We got Sonny.
It's good.
We got Sonny Kiss, who. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were supposed to be Sonny Kiss. What a run in New.
Didn't we just talk about this issue with them because of Big Swole, who, by the way, also gave them credit at the time.
Yep.
And now you're gonna just let Sonny Kiss, one of the most talented black wrestlers on the planet, go by the wayside.
Yep. The
brothers need to get the fuck out of this company before it's too late.
So, yep. Okay. Nick Camarado, they're not renewing. Nick Camarado of the Nightmare Factory, who was the big dude that never actually wrestled. He just was there.
He used to wrestle a lot on Dark. And now he's just kind of a bodyguard.
Yep. And then the last name on this list is Joey Janela, who at this point I don't think he wants to stay.
You see, though, I believe 7 months ago. I said 7 months ago. I'm like, he's gonna be the first, and then there's gonna be a trickle. Because Joey's pretty fucking useless. And then when you realize,
which is weird because we started to compliment his work on Dark, but he just can't.
So before the show,
I'm surprised they don't keep him because he's just like TK. Talks a lot on the internet, never shuts the hell up. I'm surprised they don't like him for that reason.
He should just play TK Son on television.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing. I said at some point you're going to just have to let a lot of wrestlers go.
Yeah.
And I figured Joey's going to be first.
He's in the first class.
Because here's the thing. You got nothing for him.
No.
You've never had anything for him.
The sad part about it is that the one time he got Dynamite television time to cut a promo, it never went anywhere, not because they dropped it, but because Phoenix got hurt on Dark and they didn't have their match.
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, if you've got a match you just promoted, and you put it on your live television. By the way, everyone talks about them getting a streaming service. I bet you they want you to forget about the first 2 years of Dynamite. They want you to just forget about half the shit that was on the first 2 years of Dynamite.
It might be a good idea.
It'll be the last thing they put on that streaming service.
Let me tell you this. If WWE can put up everything from 2002 to 2005 on Raw, you better put up your first 2 years.
That's fair.
Because the moment you don't, your fans better have a problem with that. If we can go back and watch Triple H's Reign of Terror anytime we want to on Peacock, yeah, your fans better be forced to go watch.
But here's the deal. Back to my point. If you have a match you just promoted on national television, you immediately pull that wrestler from all of his indie dates. You say, I'll cut a check for whatever promotion you're going to work over the next 7 days. You have not a main event, but you have a nationally televised match coming up. You are not getting hurt. Go in the gym, do some light work, some band work, whatever, but do not fucking get hurt. You tell that person that, and if they say, well, I just booked it, I'll send them a check. They're not going to care you're not on the show. They'll fix it. Live fans won't care because they've already paid for the money. But you send them a check. That's how you run a business. Okay. But anyway, to the results of the second ever Dynamite on TBS, the first one below 1 million, the first of many below 1 million. Let's just put that out.
Well, they can just get used to this number.
Well, at least Rampage is keeping a steady pace at their 400 to 500,000 because they're not. I checked.
Rampage ain't getting any better.
NXT 2.0 is officially better than Rampage. The numbers just show.
Yeah. I just checked the numbers, and
Jesse,
I checked the numbers for Dynamite, and I was like, wow.
We started with the aforementioned Mr. Cole coming out with Kyle and Bobby.
Right.
They literally, Leroy, I think they got out a freaking sentence before the Young Bucks showed up.
Well,
really?
Adam got everything out.
Well, yeah, but then
and when Kyle, by the way,
was it also, did it happen there? Because I saw a clip of.
They opened the show with this. Yes.
Of Britt Baker kissing
So
Adam.
basically,
Was
what
that
happens
on that
is,
show?
Yep.
Yep.
So
Okay.
basically, what happens is Adam Cole comes out with Redragon. He talks about how it's a new era because technically they can't call themselves Undisputed Era.
WWE still owns the
Because
license.
they still own that license.
Which, by the way, folks,
I did. They were
folks,
figuring out a
backstage
name.
reports
Yeah.
that-
What are they going to
backstage
call
reports,
themselves?
Roddy Strong has no plans to ask for his release currently.
Apparently, he said he's quite comfortable in NXT 2.0.
Which, by the way, do you blame Roddy? Because again, Roddy's at. Okay, how many times can we say it on the show? He's the only guy who's self-aware of what he was before NXT,
Yeah, I would
which
think
was
so.
technically nothing in terms of just an upper. Because remember, even on ROH television, when he came on, it was always referred to, oh, you've been Mr. ROH, but you've never been the guy.
Right.
Like he knows Jesse.
Yeah.
Why not take the easy route?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that
Right.
at this point in Roddy's career.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
right.
As in shape as Roddy is.
He's in great shape.
Yep.
So, they come out, they're starting to cut a promo talking about
The tag titles.
the tag titles, friendships with the Bucks.
Yep.
Because clearly there's still a rift between Redragon and the Bucks.
Yep.
And then Adam tries to just as soon as Kyle starts to talk about the Bucks, they come out. By the way, no music, they just kind of interrupt.
Yep. Yeah.
They come out. I give them credit. Once again, they played the rules correctly.
Yep.
Where they're like, basically they don't kind of, they see what's happening. Clearly, they watched NXT because they stupidly didn't sign when they should have. And
Yeah.
Yep.
for real, they should have just signed NXT.
Yep.
They would have. Triple H would have made them stars.
Yep.
And so, that's going okay. And then the fucking best friends come out, and I'm like, when the best friends kind of group gets in the ring, I automatically said, so when Britt Baker coming out? Because
Chris Statlander was there.
she's clearly there.
Yeah.
She's a large part of that faction.
And Chris Statlander confronted Adam Cole,
Right.
but then she was taken out by Britt Baker.
Right.
So that's the point where you were saying, Leroy. But my point is this. You're once again telling us the press conference was bullshit because you can't have Adam hit Chris Statlander. You can't.
No.
Britt Baker, again, WWE not wanting to be edgy. You can't do it either. You can't. It's not like you threw Janela in that women's hardcore match to be a freaking stooge to get his ass kicked.
Right.
It was all women.
Right.
Not taken away from the competitors in it.
Right.
But guys, the blood, the violence, the gore, it was still women on women match.
Right.
Yep.
You can't do this edgy shit that WWE used to do because television stations own you. You needed Britt Baker to interject herself in something that she doesn't need to be in.
Because she already beat Statlander clean in her status.
Exactly. But again, Jesse, it's booking yourself into, well, shit, this is all we can do. We have to have Britt Baker because she's the only. Because guess what? Only Cody is working with two different black females at the same time right now. Only
Lucky.
Cody can insert Red Velvet. We have
Lucky
no fucking
Cody.
idea why to this day.
Because she's a part of the Nightmare Factory training group.
Fair
The
enough.
first one, yeah.
But my point is this: is that we needed an out because because we've already booked Chris Statlander is going to confront Adam Cole. Which, by the way, I think Chris Statlander is taller than Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. So now to make sure we don't make the people at the Mothers Institute for America or whatever the hell they call themselves angry, who by the way don't even watch the show, they're just going to watch Twitter.
That's true, yeah.
So they couldn't teach themselves tolerance of entertainment, but they taught themselves how to use Twitter. It's a bit backwards when you think about it. But my point is this, is that
Yeah.
we can't have Chris Statlander interact with a male physically.
Right.
So we insert Britt Baker, the women's champion, for no reason because Statlander's not even in her rear view.
Right.
So now Chris Statlander's involved. Once again, let's forget the rankings that Chris Statlander's not in. Because we booked ourselves into a corner that makes no sense. And also, we have to appease the people at Turner.
I'm just saying, if you're supposedly a pro wrestling company throwing on a pro wrestling show,
Yes. That's what they claim to be.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have just super kicked the shit out of her?
Yeah.
Because all I'm saying is when I watched
Sean did it.
when I watch New Japan and one of Taichi's ladies decides that they're going to get a little bit too lippy with Minoru Suzuki,
Yeah.
you're going to catch a two-piece and hand a piece of cake to your face. Like, you can catch something, but you're not going to get in that man's face. Like, he whoops a man bigger than him's ass on a regular basis. You think because you look so cute.
He cares?
Like, he cares. Oh, no. And by the way, have you seen his beautiful girlfriend? She'll give you a 2-piece no biscuit.
A woman who Minoru respects said, hit me like one of the guys, and he went a little too far on Asuka.
Kana-chan took such a beating that the tag team partner broke character and started hitting Minoru. Like, dude, that's enough. Like, that's enough, bro. What are you doing? So, but
which again proves not from a women's negative perspective, but proves that, again, Asuka probably has no plans to go back to Japan because here's the deal. Asuka love Stardom, love them. Asuka outgrew them.
Well, clearly.
And if New Japan's not willing to bring in the best Joshis right now, why would she go back? She's just going to get stuck in Stardom, which again, she
would rather go back to WWE where she's going to get stuck, fighting for titles at WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Like,
hard to believe Asuka got that, but FTR couldn't figure that out.
Maybe we'll see her in a couple weeks.
There's a good chance.
I don't know anything on her injury status.
The arm is close. There's no one's being very honest about the date. So to me, that's always like, okay, well, let me be cautious.
The Royal Rumble's there.
Right. Maybe it's just in time. But yeah, I just
10 days.
Here was the thing. I was almost okay with the opening segment.
Yeah.
So you guys' boy likes to talk about the visual because unfortunately he's right. And it's the thing he's been right about for pro wrestling for years.
Yeah.
So the visual of the best friends coming out. And
the only negative in Tommaso Ciampa versus Braun Breaker, I hate to say it, was the female referee because visually it was just a bit. Nothing against.
Right.
I've seen her ref.
She's a great ref. She's a very good ref. She's not
a bad referee.
Right.
But the woman they called up to SmackDown would have been better in that spot.
Oh, Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessica probably. Because which I get.
She also commands much more authority than
she does.
The most referees.
She doesn't like Stephanie emasculate the men on the main roster, but she's very firm. And it's a good look. It's a very good look.
She is one of those referees that if you can take away the fact that she's a woman for like 2 seconds, you wouldn't know what was happening.
I mean, Jessica's grown into her role as
as
a referee. But here's the thing. In AEW, they don't care. They just don't give a shit about the refs.
Rick Knox continues to get her job in refereeing, and he's just the most useless.
It's almost like watching an NFL game with Rick Knox sometimes. Like, why are these guys even here? Like, you don't even matter. And you're ruining the damn thing.
And we will criticize the male and female refs in the NFL. You all suck at your jobs right now. You do.
You're all terrible.
Yes.
But
what? They can't handle a whistle?
No, they can't do anything.
Okay.
They don't even want to pull a flag anymore. It's anyway. Sorry, offbeat.
Yep.
So here's the thing.
Damn it, Leroy.
I know.
Don't get started right now in football.
All right,
that's why we're here early.
Right.
To avoid football.
Thank God our season is done.
Avoid football.
But back to your visual statement.
So the visual of I like Orange Cassidy. Like I said, watching Dynamite has actually got me to understand the character. Because on the indies, I'm like, I don't fucking get it.
It only worked with Darren Corbin, but that's because I don't think anyone can.
And I wish I would have been there to watch it because maybe Darren would have helped me see it.
One or two of those matches is free on YouTube.
Okay.
He does say, he does have it. There's a few on YouTube that he.
Because they had because they had 3 matches. Him and Cassidy had 3 at First Wrestling.
Because the only other time I saw it halfway work.
By the way, First Wrestling has changed the date of WrestlePalooza due to COVID.
Right.
So
because a friend of mine sent me House of Glory footage when he was in a Fatal 4-Way. It was Lady Frost, and our girl that we were just talking about, the alien.
Yep.
And then what's his face? And I can't remember his name. And when Chris Statlander played it up, I was like, I think I get it.
Yeah.
And then like I said, the more I saw it, and to give Chris Jericho credit, because I don't like to do that nowadays.
You really don't.
When I saw it, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it with the guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because for a while, I'm like, I don't get it. But when he's holding the mic, when he clearly isn't going to say anything, and they kind of just came out and they look like geeks.
Yeah. It's also, again, an insult to two wrestlers who are arguably one of the most talented tag teams in the world.
I can't even get into Trent Beretta and Chucky T, probably one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet today, because it'll depress me.
That's Jesse, next up was your boy Phillip Brooks versus Wardlow in a once again another oddly just.
This I actually really liked.
All I'm saying is that sadly, I feel like at this point, there's too many segments of Punk and MJF. The problem is they have nothing else to fill a show with.
By the way, I wholeheartedly agree. I literally wholeheartedly.
WWE luckily has so much stuff, they can pull one of their best things off for an entire week and then bring it back the next week and they refresh it.
Because at this point, I'm like, unless they have the match soon, I don't give a I'm starting to give a shit less about the whole CM Punk MJF thing.
Which is sad because MJF is just gold.
But I do care more and more about the when is Wardlow just gonna finally whoop MJF's ass?
When is Wardlow gonna turn around and actually use the rankings and say, I'm top 5 rankings. I don't need you.
We're all now at this point like, okay, when is Wardlow gonna whoop MJF's ass? That's the story I'm more interested in.
Yeah.
But to give Punk a little credit, so what he did was a semi callback. I believe it was Brett and
Diesel.
Kevin Nash.
Diesel, yeah.
Or Diesel, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin Nash, whatever.
Yeah. To be fair, it was Diesel at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I could clearly kind of see. I'm pretty sure this is a callback to Bret Hart again.
Well, yeah, because remember Darby and Punk, the opening was I think Dynamite Kid Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Literally move for move.
Yeah.
It was Dynamite Kid Bret. Which by the way, funny story. Wrestling from back then actually excited that crowd back at that show. Hard to believe that made sense.
By the way, and it still does now.
Yep.
Clearly with Punk doing it, it still does now.
Yep.
So and by the way, it does make Wardlow look like $1 million because clearly he was whooping Punk's ass.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm like, overall, I did like it a lot, except for the fact that it still ties in to a story where we haven't even gotten the match yet.
Yeah.
This is like 2-3 months in now.
I believe it's at least a month and a half. At minimum, it's 2.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Have the damn match. Seriously, MJF just running from him at this point is ludicrous because it's not even a heel thing at this point. It's like, okay, well, this is dragging on.
It's a chicken shit.
You just did this with Jericho where you had him try to run through your faction to get to you.
Yeah.
Like this is you can't keep doing this. This is a bad.
When's the 5 layers of Punk?
Right.
Sorry. The 5 labors of Punk going to show up?
Right.
When's that going to happen?
I think we're there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's
we're getting to Jesse's 5 labors of oh god, this again.
Because when I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, well, hopefully the ass beating he took, he got the win. You know, MJF just accepts that he's going to do the match in a couple weeks on Dynamite. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Nope. You know, he gets next week. He gets my favorite AEW wrestler, Shawn Spears.
The chairman.
I literally almost threw up, man.
I bet you did. After all that Jack's Pizza you've been having.
Oh, and I've had to eat a lot of it because I'm a bit broke right now, guys.
Yeah.
And so I almost threw up.
I bet.
I was just like, really? Now I have to watch this now next week. Like,
it was bad.
I'm like, I'm depressed now. Like, and I was so good with the whole MJF Wardlow, the dynamic of Wardlow looking like he was about to Batista Triple H.
Yeah.
He was about to just fuck him up finally because he was tired of him.
Yep.
No, we're not getting that yet.
By the way, that to this day was one of the worst looking electric chairs I've ever seen live on Raw because he just set Randy down.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That one hurt.
But luckily, Randy understood to tuck his head up, so he landed on his shoulders. But like I said, once again, a segment ruined by the end because it was great.
By the placenta.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then they ruined
this beautiful baby comes out, and then the placenta shows up, and you're like, all right, back to reality.
Especially when you mention Shawn Spears, because I just don't give a shit about Shawn Spears.
At this point, to kind of steal from Roman on SmackDown, if they had announced his wife versus CM Punk, you would have been more interested.
I would have said main event that shit. Because Shawn Spears is uninteresting to me. I don't care.
Next up was, hey, wow. Despite all these budding talents, we actually got a match
That was delicious.
with actual budding talents. We got a match between two AEW up-and-comers.
Right.
Powerhouse Hobbs versus our boy Dante.
Great match.
Yeah.
Which was a good match.
Great match.
But it was also an afterbirth that made no sense in the fact that Jesse, your boy Lethal, is back from Mexico.
Apparently.
Which we don't know why he's back from Mexico.
What was
should've
he doing in
stayed.
Mexico?
Wrestling in AAA. You
All
should have
right.
stayed.
But now Jay Lethal has to deal with this all over again.
Apparently, they must have called him, but, hey, you kind of did sign a contract. You want to come do some stuff.
He won't call anyone else that's working the indies right now. But no. I actually enjoyed the match. Like I said, Dante is young. He's got tons of talent.
Right.
He just needs reps.
Right.
Hobbs has somehow become a heel, and I don't know how because his story is so fucking sad. But he's also so good at this.
Well, when he joined Team Taz, he was always technically a heel, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Hangman spoke, and it was much like everything else. It was Hangman doing cowboy shit. We still don't know what that means, cowboy shit. But
Here's what I want to say about this.
Well, I think cowboy shit depends on where you're at, what it means.
Before Lance came out,
yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Lance Archer's back from
I heard
again
that, yeah.
a scary situation.
Well,
That's good. He's back.
Here was the thing that he had already wrestled on New Japan Strong, so I knew he was on his way back.
That's fair.
I was confused by the promo. Where was Adam going?
He
What was he trying to tell?
the only thing Jesse, since I know the interview, I have to say this. The only thing it was missing was the Italian immigrant who eventually became a WWE Hall of Famer. That's all this promo was missing.
Oh my god!
It went nowhere.
Wow.
I've
Yeah.
never seen him wander off on a promo like that before.
Once again, a champion that because they let him go home for the baby. Not saying being a dad's a bad thing, but
Right.
this is you're getting paid at a young age right now. Shut up and take the money. Be a family man later.
Right.
Shad Khan's great at it. But anyway.
Yep.
But anyway, no, Jesse, this guy, from the moment he won the belt, they have no idea what they're doing. They've thrown all
No,
their
they
plans
don't.
out the window.
Well,
He's
here's-
the worst world champion in wrestling. He is.
Worse than Kenny?
No. Currently, as
Okay,
a
all
world
right.
champion, Brock beating Big E makes more sense than anything Adam Page has done for the moment.
Okay, all right.
Man, I don't want to go there yet because Kenny's run, Kenny's run is so bad. I think some of their fans have been listening to us. By the way, make sure you go subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
Because they were just starting to point out all the
Yeah.
points I had made
And
during
Twitter.
this run. And Twitter, yes.
And Twitter, yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that.
Yeah.
Because Kenny's run was fucking terrible.
Yeah. He buried everyone on the roster I was supposed to care about.
Right. Is he the worst champion in pro?
Currently
In America, sure. You know what? Yeah.
in America, there is not a world champion that is less believable and is less interesting than the Hangman.
You know what? Yeah.
Name one. Think of one. I don't even give you a second to think while I kind of go over, what was going on here because again, apparently, Archer beat up Lambert and Page.
A couple months ago, he beat
Yeah.
up Lambert.
Yeah.
He didn't even beat up Lambert in the segment. He literally avoided him to hit to hit Hangman with the chair, which is fine. Which is completely fine.
Yeah.
Archer wants to come back as a heel. I have no problem with that.
He should have been a heel from day one. The
Right.
problem is that, and everyone's like, well, he was a heel. No, he was throwing Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela around for literally
Well, here's the worst part.
a month.
They had a feud with Cody,
Yes.
and then lose to Cody.
Yeah.
That already, I'm like, well, that takes his credibility down at least 7%.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, man.
Not down a total of 7%, down to 7%. Just to clarify for our math fans out there.
I was gonna say just
We
7%,
have
but I
math
like that.
fans.
We have a lot of fans.
We have Steiner math fans.
Yes, we do.
yeah.
Oh my god! But here's the thing.
He walks like a Steiner. He's a Steiner. He talks like a Steiner. He works like a Steiner. He's not a Steiner.
Look at he's fat so because he's fat. Will always be my second favorite Scott Steiner promo about Samoa Joe. Look at the fatso, man. He's fat. He just called him fat 4 times, and I laughed for 20 minutes. I don't
the
even
crazy
know.
part about it is that Bleacher Report. I think that's who I'm on here. Yeah. No, even Bleacher Report is giving their analysis, and they're even talking about the fact that they don't even know what he is as a champion. Not because he's a talented a talented heavyweight who can serve as a young champion like Paige. Well, all I know is that right now it's just there's a lot.
Trevor Murdoch is way better than him.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob Fatu is way better than him.
Alexander Hammerstone is a beast.
Alexander Hammerstone is a monster. The 2 champions on Raw and SmackDown.
It's sad.
There's nothing to talk about there.
It's sad that Alexander Hammerstone has to work for Court Bauer, but we'll get to that in a little bit here.
But Moose is an incredible champion. I got nothing.
Moose has revived TNA faster than I thought they were going to be able to get.
Which is why he should have beat Kenny as well.
Yep. But anyway,
next segment.
The next up was your girl Hikaru.
Yeah.
In the ring with an actual good wrestler.
This was my favorite thing of the night, I think.
Serena Deeb.
This is my favorite thing of the night because these two just know how to work a story, and the story's been really good. It's a rivalry that started because every time Serena Deeb has gotten into a match with Hikaru Shida on an important match, she's lost. Hikaru Shida just bested her, and now this 20-plus year veteran wants to get rid of the girl who keeps fucking ruining her chance.
Referee stoppage was the official ending. Yep.
Which, in this case, I don't have a problem with. Because it looked good.
Yeah.
To give Hikaru Shida credit.
Hikaru sold it like that.
She tried to get up, and she fell. And
she went to the Shaq School of Selling.
Right. She sold death, for real.
Yes.
And, by the way, we'll talk about the placenta that kind of knocked it down a little bit, but this was still my favorite segment.
Yeah.
But, and then the ref, to make the ref a little worse. The ref is like, no, this is over. Like, I can't let you wrestle. I have no problem with that. That's how you should let your refs look. Where if you're going to do something like that where the refs are like, I'm also in here to make sure that you're safe. I got to end this. You can't wrestle anymore. Yeah. Like, I love that.
Well, by the way, Natty and Aaliyah made the referee very credible.
Right.
As well.
Right.
We'll look at that
because once again, understanding selling.
Yeah.
Understanding selling.
Which by the way, I have no problem with the referee technically immediately changing his decision.
Right.
And not just throwing that out.
Right.
But
when the wrestler shows an ability to still look like they're kind of able to compete,
right? Yeah.
That's the story you're going to go
because
for.
The referee is also of the old school sports based presentation that wrestling used to be.
Right.
He's supposed to give them a little wiggle room.
Right.
But anyway, no.
But then I didn't mind the extra beatdown. But after you sent out the refs to pull off Serena Deeb,
yep.
That should have been the end of it.
Yep. Nope.
Why the fuck were Tay and Jay out there?
I have no idea. Because they're listening to us and they're like, oh, Ty Conti's actually doing things outside the ring. Let's at least put her on the show to gain some viewers. But they're not listening well enough to us because, boys, we didn't tell you to do nothing because you did nothing.
So I'm confused here, Leroy, because sometimes I watch a TV show, and
yes,
when I watch a TV show, I like to understand the story of the show.
Yeah.
So, Leroy, have you gotten a chance to at all, or even watch Boba Fett yet?
Allison and I were gonna start it, but we have like 18 shows we're behind on, so it kind of fell behind a couple
right. Have you got a chance
the Book of Boba Fett is.
Book of Boba Fett?
I can't wait.
Oh yes, I could bring Eben in here. That's his.
I don't care about spoilers.
Anticipation of coming home to see me on Thursday because Boba Fett time. Boba Fett time.
I'm also in that realm of I want all the episodes out and I can just binge it.
I understand.
Well, I understand. Oh, you'll like it.
So, I told people at first when I watched.
The Book of Boba Fett is one of the most underrated told stories in the history.
Well, I was telling
universe.
people the first episode did not grip me. I was a little disappointed. But I tried, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it next week, and I think it'll pick up, and it did, and it was excellent.
Yeah.
And then the third episode, while good, also had its flaws. But once again, you see the story they're going for. okay, I'm in.
You at least have an idea of what they're trying to tell you.
I get what's going on.
Yes.
Serena Deeb had already beat the shit out of Shida with the kendo shit stick.
Yeah.
They sent out the refs who, to give Aubrey credit for the first time in like 4 months, look like the lead official by pulling the wrestler and be like, no, this is done. She can't move.
I'm not for referees always getting physical with the wrestlers.
Right.
There needs to be that sort of separation. But again, like you said, when you see a beatdown that is just somebody got the shit kicked out of them, I'm okay with it.
Like what made Earl Hebner such a popular ref, and by the way, while it was smart for them to start incorporating him into Triple H's stories for a while, was every now and then he was because he was the first ref to start grabbing weapons, because he saw Triple H with the sledgehammer.
Yep.
He grabbed him from like, no, just beat him.
Yeah.
Like, he's already down, just beat him. You're not grabbing a weapon. And that's cool, you know what? Because it makes it shows like the ref is trying to also protect the wrestler, trying to make sure it's a clean match.
A referee's job is to make sure that they are the third person involved, but not to take away from the story in the ring. But if they become part of the main story, they need to be able to keep out their end of the bargain.
Their little beat is important to what story's being told.
Exactly.
Okay, so the refs go. There's after the lead.
Oh, by the way,
pulls,
this was another example of what Jim says in the inconsistency that he hates, is that there are people on this show, whether it's a hardcore match or not, who get mutilated with shit, and nobody comes out to stop it. We just go to commercial, but then you get 2 girls, and all it is a kendo stick, because yes, that's all it was a kendo stick, and all of a sudden the whole world has to come save Hikaru
Well, here's
Shida.
the thing, because the refs already pulled off Serena Deeb. Why the fuck did these 3 women run out to help Shida walk? Segment's over. They didn't need to come out.
Go to commercial.
You let the refs walk her out. Done. Move on. Move on. What?
That's the way to do it.
Because if you were going to run out there, you should have ran out there to save her.
Yeah.
What? Next segment.
You're the quote trained athlete. Why are you not helping Shida, but then you're going to help her walk? We're not paying you to help her walk.
As I said before, I don't care about what happened with Tayana and Sammy Guevara, what they did.
It's their personal lives. We don't care.
It might have not been cool, whatever. I get how people feel about those kind of things, but it's their personal lives. But as a performer, this was fucking dumb.
Yep. Because by the way, somebody tweet us, somebody DM us, somebody find us, somebody call, text, whatever. Why were they involved?
Because if Serena Deeb would have started beating,
sense.
if she would have started doing what Charlotte kind of did for a week, by the way, and then they threw it out. The one thing sometimes I hate that WWE does is something that will work, and they're like, let's not do that again. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
You had something cool. But if she would have started beating up refs and then you came out, okay, because that's okay. Now the wrestler has in story lost their mind. They're beating up refs. They're gonna get fined for it.
Yep.
Now you're coming out to just save everybody. Like, dude, you got to go.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
But they used two of the most beautiful, athletic, talented women on their roster to basically be crutches, literal crutches. And yet you have referees in referee shirts that could have done the same goddamn job. What?
Well, here's the thing. Aubrey Edwards had already did it.
Yeah.
She pulled her off, and Serena, come on, this is enough. This is enough. Even when Serena was pushing her, Serena, this is enough. Like, she already did it.
Yeah.
She already broke it up.
Yeah.
It's over. We can move on.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the placentas, man.
Which is weird because they gave this a B, which I think they tried to. But again, I don't think they.
Because before that, I would have gave it a B too.
Yeah.
Because that took it from an A to a B. Because if they wouldn't have did that, I would have been like this. That was an A+ segment. Now you've officially gotten Serena Deeb over as this really dangerous heel,
legitimate talent that she is.
Right. And Hikaru Shida as, by the way, who's already a great babyface. Just because you fucked up her booking as champion doesn't mean she didn't do a good job.
Yeah, Kenny, your pandemic era biggest star, your longest running champion, was a paid fan. I got
a feeling that in 3 months, 4 months, the same question I once asked of the Good Brothers, I'm going to just ask it, Kenny. I'm going to be like, Gato, why is he a clown now?
We'll get to that in 3 months. Leroy, write that down for 3 months. Anyway, next up, for some strange reason,
I thought he was a clown already, but
fair. We have Matt Hardy versus Penta El Cerro Miedo.
First of all, there was nothing wrong with this segment. Go ahead, read through the whole thing. This, like I said, this could have been my favorite, but unfortunately, during the middle of the match, Matt and Penta did a little too much kind of gimmicky stuff.
Yeah.
You got a little too gimmicky there for a minute. Because they were in North Carolina. Of course, Matt's from Cameron.
Yep.
Still lives there.
But the truth is that everybody in that area knows the Hardys.
Absolutely.
They know their dad. They know the boys.
Yeah.
They got a huge compound that basically just stretches for miles.
Right.
But then, after the match, he sent a message to your boy Tommy.
Right. So, Penta wins the match. Clean as a whistle. He should go over, even without his brother there, because technically he's a world championship caliber wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
In a different promotion, I don't know if I would ever allow Alex to be his guy. Now, Alex isn't a bad promo.
No.
But, like, if I got a better promo manager, that's who I stick with Penta.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't speak a lot of good English. He does in fan meetings, but not.
Yeah.
So
he can't carry.
He can't carry a promo.
He can't carry an American promo.
No.
That's why the brilliance that was Lucha Underground was that because it was a tape show, they had subtitles for when they needed.
Right. Because then they can just let the wrestlers speak their natural
and a majority
dialect.
of that audience spoke pretty good Spanish.
Right. So they understood it.
Yeah.
So, but Southern Texas, man, I love it.
Well, they were in L.A.
Oh, was that L.A.?
Boyle Heights.
Yeah, they were in L.A. Yeah.
And they were in Boyle Heights. That's what the show was taped, yeah.
I did know that, too.
I didn't know. I maybe I did know it, and I just, my brain. Anyway.
Yeah. Because remember, they booked Prince Puma a la Ricochet from Boyle Heights.
Right.
He was a local kid.
Right. So, here's the thing. Match good. After the match, Penta he cuts a promo about Malachi because Malachi didn't take out his brother. A really bad accent took out his brother, but he took out Pac, which we did get a video package for later.
Yep.
And basically I want to fight you. And
you might be right, by the way, when we get farther into this, because they might. I think you're right. They're going in a certain way with the House of Black.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I had that feeling. So, Malachi comes out.
Yep.
He tries to. At first, it looks like he's going to try to kick him.
Yep.
But he gets Alex first.
Yep.
And then him and Penta
and
start
once
brawling.
again, even when it's to a manager, the kick looks so freaking
I know.
devastating.
Wow.
I'm telling you, by the way, they can't call it Black Mask.
Yeah.
WWE, once again, still technically owns that name.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now the baby face is coming. I know your boy probably had a problem with it, but I didn't. Because Griff and Brian, who have been tortured by Malachi, come out and they're like, we're tired of this guy. They're going to try to help Penta beat him up. And so once Malachi realizes he got outnumbered, because people are like, what did Malachi do? So what he did was he looked at him, he counted it out, and he said, yeah, it's 3 of you, but there's one more of me. The lights go back out. It comes back on. Big ass Brody King.
But back to your point before we even got to that, they were beating him down. Well, no, Search of Revenge, and they ensued. Julia Hart broke it up.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
There is one. Soon there will be two.
And then there will be three.
And then there will be three. The House of Black, which, by the way, adding a female to this dynamic, fabulous idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Tommy's always worked really well when there's been females in his segments. Tommy really understands how you can make the female special, even if he's the attraction.
Right.
And once again, as we say, the nicest gentleman maybe in all of professional wrestling.
Tommy Ann is a great guy.
Tommy's a great dude.
So here's the thing. So Brody King comes up, cleans house like he should. He's Brody. Dude, Brody was just beating up on Minoru Suzuki a month ago. Like, Brody's a beast.
He's a big boy. He is a big boy.
He's a big, thick boy.
It literally just says, and I quote, "The big man destroyed everyone."
He came out and he wrecked House probably got the biggest pop of the night. And now that's 2 for the House of Black. Like you said, it is very interesting, and I forgot to point that out. So, because before he counts, because it looks like Penta is about to super kick him because Griff and Brian are holding him to, kick the shit out of Malachi. Yeah. And yet it's Julia that goes, guys, no, that's enough.
Yep.
And then they stop, but they all look at her like, what are you talking about?
And they're all confused. Yeah.
They're like he sprayed you in the face. But Malachi,
well, he missed, but I mean,
right.
Yeah.
But once again, good on her.
Yep.
Selling it.
Selling
the shit out of it.
Daddy said sell.
But good Minnesota girl, Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Love her to death. Oh, we love her to death.
And she's selling compassion towards Malachi, who's like laughing his ass off because he's basically looking at them like, you guys don't even know I've already got you.
Yeah.
Like this is actually brilliant storytelling, and it's also nice because he's away from Cody Rhodes.
What I want to happen and what needs to happen is
indeed.
Now that they're there.
Yeah.
The House of Black.
Yeah.
What's their PWG name?
I think they're gonna see, and I don't know what it is right now.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to start going by the House of Black.
Isn't it like Black Throne? It was
something like that. Yeah. Kings of the Black Throne or something.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, no. But it's just please let them run through the tag team division.
Right.
Please let them do it.
Right.
Now we get to the reason why this show didn't hit 1 million, and I say this is the reason because you took 2 aspiring teams and you shit on them for a 60-plus-year-old guy.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to is our boys, the Acclaimed, who I believe you had as the top team.
Right.
Which again, they're entertaining.
Yes,
they're
they
good.
are.
Against Bear Country, who's a nice team to have as a big sort of power team in your tag team division.
Who, by the way, will beat teams so they look credible.
Yeah. So we have that. They cut a promo on Sting and Darby, which, again, why? What was the point?
I don't understand. Well, because they're feuding with them, but I don't understand why. See, this is my big problem sometimes with AEW.
Yeah.
The reason feuds start. Now, people can say there's some of the same issue in WWE.
Yeah.
But it's always been there for WWE. You guys said you weren't going to make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
You're clearly making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Why do these two want to beat up Sting and Darby? Like, there's never been any reason.
They've had no interaction on camera. They haven't even done shit on Dark that we're supposed to be aware of.
Not that I can remember.
Well, you're more of an authority on Dark than than they are.
Because I watch it.
Yeah, but anyway, not to mention the fact, once again, why do I want to see this match when Sting, the 60-plus-year-old, just took them both out? So you bury the 2 young guys, right. Darby's not even a part of it, and Sting laid them out. Why do I want to see this when they just got beat by a 60-year-old with a bad neck? Jesse, there's no heat here.
I know.
Look at Sting got it back.
Right.
There's nothing here. Your friends at Haitian Heat can't even help this.
Are you sure?
I don't know, Leroy. There's some good shit in that Haitian Heat hot sauce.
There is.
Our
boy Al brings you one hell of a hot sauce, ladies and gentlemen, with the 4 hottest peppers in the world, a beautiful barbecue sauce to accompany it, and they have just finished making up a large batch of the smaller bottles.
Yes,
But
sir.
yes, once again, Haitian Heat on Facebook. Please go check it out.
Once again, Facebook.com/Haitian Heat. Order today. Remember, your batch will take a while to get to you because it is locally made, but they will get it to you.
Yes. Still working on the Amazon store.
Holy shit, you're good.
And as I like to say always, we put that shit on everything.
One of these days, Frank's Red Hot is going to send us a cease and desist, and I'll be like, okay, but guess what? We still do it.
We apologize.
But Jesse, there's...
Just because you make bland... I'm sorry, go ahead before I get us banned.
That's fair. Just because all you do is make a gravy, that's not our fault.
That's really all that is.
But Jesse, there's no heat here.
No.
They got it back.
Yes, they did.
They got it back.
Yes, they did.
Because again, a 60-plus-year-old man...
beat the shit out of them.
Just did it. It is the Kings of the Black Throne. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who they are.
But no, Jesse, they don't know how to keep heat on someone for more than a week. And by the way, you got 2 of the biggest douchebags in AEW to do it,
I know.
and you still kill it.
I know.
So now you're just going to tell me that all the heat's back because all they're going to do is do another rap next week? Then no. So that was bad. That was awful. Seriously, it was bad.
No, I don't disagree.
And it was an insult to Bear Country, who, like you said, they can wrestle.
Right, they're good.
This was bad. Now we go to the weekly/monthly/ we don't know where it came from, but hey, he's not that bad segment, meaning it's time for the weekly Daniel Garcia segment.
He's such a weird wrestler to me. Because he is.
Okay. All right.
In the ring, technically.
Who does he have pictures of? Because he's shown up in AEW and gotten more airtime than all these wrestlers are about to get released.
I will say, in the ring.
And yes, they're getting released. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
It's the same thing.
In the ring, I like him. Because he's a smaller guy that doesn't fly around. He's actually, he should be a Jim Cornette kind of favorite in the ring.
He's actually starting to like him a little bit.
Because,
he is. He's just on. Jim's just confused. Where did he come from? Why is he here? Why are you here, Daniel Garcia, Cotton Eye Joe? I don't know.
I was wondering if you're going to go there because I was going to say Cotton Eye Joe there.
It's
Cotton Eye Garcia. How's that?
Garcia's so weird.
Cotton Eye Dan.
And then they paired him with two of the most obnoxious motherfuckers on the planet.
Who, by the way, are doing nothing different than they were in NXT.
No,
they're the same team.
They're the same team.
So you can't tell me creative was a problem.
It's literally different branding.
It's the same team. And the reason they're called 2.0 is because it's the 2.0 version. No, they're the second coming of themselves. It's the same shit.
Yep.
They're the same tag team.
The same thing they were always doing.
Oh.
Because in the ring, he's a very good heel technical seller. He picks his opponents apart, and it's good shit. But when he's cutting promos, it's like, you're boring me, and you're dragging. Shut up. Where is this going? It's cause you're confused. Because you're like, what? Go to promo school, kid. You're failing here. You can't get yourself over if you tried it. But in the ring.
Also, by the way, not to just shit on what you're trying to say here, but
he's an anomaly like titties and gravy. You want to see titties and gravy, but you don't get to
together.
See it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I could see that.
By the way, that will now officially be trademarked by me. I will put that on a shirt.
Fair enough.
Boobies on gravy in gravy because
if Willie was here, he'd be right there with us.
Yeah, because you want to see it because it's gravy on meat, and that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't want Frank's Red Hot, but you want gravy.
But you want gravy.
Yeah. Dude, gravy's good on everything.
But once again,
like bacon.
But then you think about it in your mind, as beautiful as that visual might look.
Yeah.
Would it taste as good as it starts to get sticky? And maybe not. And maybe not. And maybe not. And maybe not. And then you got to come to your own senses like, damn, okay, well, this is a little odd.
Yeah.
That's Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is odd because when he cuts promos, I don't want to listen to him anymore.
We're going to have to, and boys.
Wow.
And boys, I know you tend
You're all welcome for that visual.
Here's the deal. We're going to have to.
All right.
We're going to have to tweet Daniel Garcia that exact phrase.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Please do, because we tend to forget to tweet out things that we say.
Right.
This is one thing we're gonna have to tag Daniel.
I don't. He confuses me.
Anyway,
anytime he's on my screen, I'm like, I don't know.
And also, quick question: 2 weeks ago, weren't Jericho and Kingston involved in something against each other? Why did they both show up and they knocked out the heels? Why are they all of a sudden friends?
They're not.
But they took out the heels.
I know, but they're not. This whole storyline's kind of stupid. Because
it's also shitting on Sammy's title reign.
It really is.
I thought Sammy was going to get away from Jericho for a minute.
Right.
But it turns out this is the literal Scooby-Doo episode where you've got the smart teens, Freddy and the girls, doing their shit that's actually solving the mystery. And they're sitting there, and they've got this great clue. They're putting together things. Velma's got a thought process. Mm-hmm. We have a Jinkies moment. Daphne has yet to fuck it up. I'm literally describing every Scooby-Doo episode that's ever existed. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Scooby and Shaggy literally just roll through. We don't know why.
They start getting chased by some shit. You don't know why.
Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston in all their years have probably never been called Scooby and Shaggy.
Why,
They were just called
why
Scooby
did these
and
two
Shaggy.
run off to go get high and then run into the ghost yet again? Listen, it's
I love my Scooby and Shaggy.
this is stupid. This is stupid.
Not Scooby and Shaggy.
No.
Eddie and Jericho.
I love Scooby Doo. Raggy. I love
We love Scooby Doo.
I love Scooby Doo. Oh, joinks, man! Like I love that shit. No. This Jericho and Eddie Kingston thing is stupid because it's just Eddie. Eddie fights everybody apparently.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Eddie. Well, it's so sad because we thought Eddie had turned a corner in his AEW career when he spoke against CM Punk with "Nobody Wants You Here," and he's literally gone downhill from that moment.
Maybe Punk's burying him. I don't know. Maybe Punk's finally getting his wish and just burying.
Was that the end of the show?
I think so.
Yeah, that was the end of the show. Leroy, did what I described to you just did what I described to you?
2.5 out of 5 show though.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Didn't grip me. Didn't grab me by the balls. Wanted me to listen.
Oh, by the way,
watch. You know.
Oh, by the way, Jesse, for better or for worse, how many women's official segments were on the show?
1,
2, 3, 2.
Well,
technically 1.
That's
One
my
match.
That's my point. They got one real segment.
But I will give them 2 because Chris Statlander and Britt Baker were in that.
All right, now we got it. All right, so here's the deal.
No, we didn't talk about the fucking promo after the entry stuff because
I don't want to.
I don't like to talk about the Young Bucks talking because it makes my balls itch.
We have so much more to get to that isn't. We have so much more to get to.
Oh, my
Lord!
Lord.
Isn't AEW?
Oh,
Number
God,
1,
yes.
Corey Graves has been officially cleared to wrestle in WWE. There's been a lot of mixed reaction to this.
I'm gonna be mean, so I'll let you guys be nice. I don't give a shit.
No.
Let me tell you why I don't give a shit.
I know. I'm not being mean by saying that.
He was a good wrestler. He was a good, but you know what his problem was? It was backstage. Couldn't shut his mouth. Couldn't shut the hell up. So when he got hurt and Triple H gave him a second chance to be a commentator, I was like, good, he's found new life. He seems to have humbled himself. And then guess what? He gets into the main roster. And he's like, man, Vince loves me. And guess what happens? He's back to running his fucking mouth. So I don't care that he can wrestle again. Because guess what he is now in that block in WWE on that main roster? You want to know who he is? He's a lower card. So if he shows up to the Royal Rumble, you know what I'm going to do if he doesn't get thrown out right away? I'm going to drink like 4 beers on the spot. On the spot! On the spot!
All right.
So I can go take a piss and miss when he gets eliminated.
Okay.
Jesse
all right.
might actually get his reviews on our YouTube then. Who knows?
There you go.
He'll be
yeah.
so angry at Corey.
I do got to
Me,
figure out why
I
those
mean-
haven't uploaded.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't.
I knew you did them. That's why I made the joke.
Yeah.
It's,
Somebody asked me, I'm like, I got to figure out why they didn't upload.
yeah. But anyway, there was mixed reaction. Some people think he should just stay in the commentary booth because whether or not Jesse likes him or not, he is one of their top commentators.
He's a good commentator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he should stay
Allison-
there. You know, that's
Allison
great that he
hates him
can
as a
wrestle.
commentator, but hey.
That's the point of it.
AJ Styles is doing great stuff in NXT. Yeah. We talked about this. When Grayson Waller finally got in the ring, I never wanted him to win unless it was against a nobody.
Right.
But when he gets stepped to by a GOAT caliber person,
Right.
he should lose.
Right.
I agree with him losing to AJ.
Right. By the way, I give you and him credit for the last segment because you guys are much more compassionate than I was ever going to be to Corey Graves.
That's fair.
But I will say this about the whole Grayson Waller and AJ Styles thing in 2.0. I don't fucking get it. AJ should win.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But the way they did it was weird.
Yeah.
The way they did it was weird.
But my point is this, is that I think at this point, I would have pulled this trigger after Grayson got some wins against some nobodies.
Right.
My problem with this,
this was his first match just at the turn.
Yes. My problem with this was only the timing of doing it.
Right.
It wasn't, because here's the deal. I can't fault Grayson for what he did because he did everything he was supposed to.
Right.
He was a heel.
Right.
He was a jerk.
Right.
He was a douchebag.
Right.
He did everything right.
Right.
He came to AJ's show. He
Right.
did everything right.
Right.
It was just weird. Alexa Bliss is now doing segments to come back on Raw. It's a bad Brandy Rhodes. Sorry. It's a better Brandy Rhodes.
I
with the bars low
absolutely
there.
love Alexa. I don't like where this is probably going to go.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. They had gold. They had gold, and it's unfortunate that when you have too much money, you don't understand how precious gold can be.
Fair.
And you're just gonna turn her back into Little Miss Bliss. And I know there's a lot of people like they just want the old Alexa back. But here's the thing: you're the same people that are gonna bitch 2 months into that when she starts winning titles again.
Yep.
And you're like, oh man, see, this is not the Alexa I want to be. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Just keep the consistency.
What's that timestamp on that, Leroy?
Oh, we got 144.
So we're gonna say at 144 of the January. What are we at? Today's the
16th.
It's the 16th.
January 16th.
I only know that because I've been watching the clock since 4 p.m. yesterday.
That's fair. At the 144 mark. So here's the deal. Where's the deal? We're gonna watch closely for this criticism in a couple of months, and when it comes out, we're gonna remind you people what episode to check.
Like I said it.
Also, we have new Raw Tag Team Champions. The local kid has got some gold.
Well, it's 2 Minnesota boys. One from our hometown, thank God.
Right.
And then from Minneapolis, Chad Gable. Yeah.
A couple of Minnesota. And by the way,
it's great.
This is a gimmick. The Academy, I don't think anyone had any hope for it, and they've actually found a way.
But I do agree with people like, in this case, but I agree with people like, I was kind of shocked that it happened.
Yeah.
For me, it was a good shock because I literally was like, well, all right, well, they're not going to take it off of them yet. So.
Yeah.
You know, and
the only thing that the only criticism I have of the match and the story is they didn't actually have a moment where Riddle stopped and read his hands.
Right.
That would have been perfect.
That was the only thing.
And here's the thing: like I threw out to people, it wasn't Riddle who got pinned to lose those titles.
Yep.
It was Randy.
Yep.
So now that's an interesting story beat to kind of throw in there.
Yep.
Because
hey,
Riddle
Randy,
didn't cost him.
Remember when you took the pinfall? We lost the tag team
titles.
So
now some people, which would be an interesting story beat, think maybe they do the heel turn with Riddle.
Yeah.
Which would be a very interesting way of doing it.
It would.
Because I've seen Riddle be just purely serious, and it works.
Yeah.
Because of his MMA background, it can work.
I don't know. I'm guessing. Do you think they're going to do a rematch?
Yeah. Probably the Rumble.
And then
they're going to find a way to
at the Rumble, you think?
Yeah, I think the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the storyline.
St. Louis,
and that,
Randy's hometown.
And not only that, but because it's the Rumble and they're not main event stars right now, they can wrestle that match and still have a completely separate story by being in the Royal Rumble. Totally separate.
Right.
Yeah, they're not in the Royal Rumble.
Or continue the story in the Rumble.
Yeah. Also, for those of you who have heard, Major League Wrestling has filed a lawsuit against WWE. This lawsuit has become more and more a joke the more and more I hear about it.
It's just really
the more and more I read about it, too. It's like, what the hell?
Screams of Court Bauer's going out of business again, and he needs money.
It's really suspect. And because, so when I first heard the story,
WWE has no working relationship with Vice at all. Their lawyer literally said, we did one thing with Vice.
Right.
We got no viewership out of it. So here's the deal. WWE might call, WWE calling Madison Square Garden about the ROH New Japan show. I kind of get that's their backyard. Jesse, I get it.
Well, that was, by the way, and people try to spin it to something else like they try to get New Japan. No, that was just, they told Triple H to make the call because they've always considered Madison Square Garden home.
Right. But here's the deal. Why would they call a network they have nothing on?
Yeah, the only thing...
Why would they call... And by the way, their lawyers said they haven't even been served anything, so the news knows about it before the fucking lawyers do.
The only thing that connects Vice and WWE is Dark Side of the Ring and the stories they have involved, which have involved a lot of people through WWE.
Doesn't even really comment on the Dark Side of the Ring stories.
No, they don't.
Sometimes they let the wrestlers go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. By the way, nowadays they probably just do it so they can just look like an open company.
Yeah.
Listen, people, I know they aren't. That's why I'm laughing when I say that.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
We're all over that.
If I remember correctly, 2 years ago, actually maybe a little bit before the pandemic, they announced a relationship with MLW.
They did.
To start using and sharing talent, even before this Impact thing.
Yeah.
Now, nothing, unfortunately, ever came of that because I think I was the first one who originally went like, man, listen, if they decide to bring up Jacob and do the story with Jacob and Roman.
You said on our show they were doing this because they wanted Jacob.
Yeah, well, because that was the rumor I had heard.
It was a backdoor way of getting Jacob
right,
too.
Right, because Jacob doesn't want to sign with WWE yet, but this was a way to do it. And of course, nothing unfortunate ever came of that.
Right.
And now this lawsuit. So when I heard about the lawsuit, I'm like, wait, I thought they had a working relationship with MLW. So yeah, the whole thing confuses me. And I'm gonna let it play out.
Yep.
Listen. If WWE wins or loses a court case, I don't care because I support WWE for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let it play out. That way I can kind of understand what's going on.
The interesting part about
if Court Bauer is pulling bullshit yet again, then somebody needs to go buy MLW.
Yeah.
Because when guys like Joey Janela are on the right side of criticism,
just it. That's it. People don't realize Joey Janela is defending a company that A, he doesn't work for. B,
will never sign him.
We'll never sign him based on everything he's ever done in the business.
Right.
And C, Joey wasn't even a part of it.
No.
Yeah. So what the heck is the point?
He was the first. He was the first one who was like, guys, don't believe this.
Well, not only that, but now here's the deal. Gene said this to me in a group chat, and Gene's usually pretty up on his stuff.
Right.
They like there's been rumors that they've had guys in MLW sign 2-year deals, and they were working for $150 a month.
Oh wow.
$150.
Wow.
That's incredible. That's garbage.
So that's a rumor that's out there. So if that's true,
I just want everyone to know, to give Ring of Honor credit, because by the way, they're run by one of the most conservative fucking media companies in the world.
Yeah.
But they were still fully paying those wrestlers their couple grand a month.
Yeah.
They were still paying them, even though they were super in the red on the company.
Yeah. So basically, just folks, before you immediately jump on the bandwagon of anti-WWE, just know this: MLW's house has never been and is not in order, and Court Bauer is the reason why.
Right.
There you go.
There's a
Definitely.
reason for that. Also, is it officially today or did it happen yesterday? But all I know is this weekend, Roman Reigns is now officially.
It is today.
It is today.
Is it
504
4 days. Okay. Roman Reigns.
He is the one. Acknowledge him. Longest reigning
W. Brock's record was 513.
503.
503.
Okay.
Yeah. But now, Jesse, just give us a quick couple-minute recap because you have clearly come around a lot because you were never out of it, but you really came around to how good it was recently. This reign, where does this reign rank with a lot of other?
So top 5 of ranking. No.
That's something else. That's something else. We'll get there.
I will say this with Roman because when he first beat Braun in the Fiend,
yeah,
because I literally was like, well, you're missing a story by moving the Fiend to Raw. The history between now you got this heel Roman and now a babyface Fiend.
Right.
That story is really interesting.
Yeah,
and then you move the Fiend to Raw, and I'm like, okay, I guess you have no interest in the interesting things in life.
Fair enough.
But it was after the second match with Jey Uso, I said, this man is operating on a different level now that he's been back since COVID started. Because originally, of course, he was supposed to wrestle Goldberg.
Yes.
And then, of course, they had Braun do it. Braun won the championship. La-da-da-da.
Right, yeah.
And every single moment since that second match, Pat McAfee will tell you on his show if you ask him.
Yes.
This man has been the best thing in pro wrestling. I watch a lot of pro wrestling.
You do.
I am a pro wrestling connoisseur.
Folks, when I text Jesse, we somehow get into wrestling, and it doesn't even involve topics for the show. We just get into wrestling.
Because I watch and I love pro wrestling.
Yes.
I'm happy when you guys want me to come to an indie show. I love pro wrestling.
Yes.
But Roman he's been so good because I always thought his promo style I'm like, it's rough.
The guy's been forced to take a couple of days off, or he had vacation planned with a family.
Right.
But he's basically taken random days off, whether it be for illness or family stuff that we didn't know about till the moment.
Right.
And he's still the most talked about thing on the show.
But here's the fun part. if he wouldn't have been off and he would have actually been there and fought Goldberg, would it still have been the same?
No.
No.
Leaving.
He would have been, you know. And by the way, he was over as a babyface because this is after he beat leukemia again and came back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But him coming back as the heel, because I told people after it happened, like, oh, he's a heel. He's clearly full blown heel.
Oh yeah. Everything about that was full blown heel.
Like, even the mentioning of the trading of the Fiend to Raw, I'm like, well, this is clearly a heel character.
Well, for me, I saw that too. When it's like all of a sudden, boom, he's next to Paul Heyman. It's like, oh my god,
when he's next to Paul Heyman, I'm like,
that give it away.
And then because that was the first time I went, holy shit, they called back to a promo from 2 years ago.
Also, name, and I'm serious, in this run, name a spot that was just pure unwatchable. You can't find it. There's stuff that's been tastes of other people. Maybe some people didn't like it, but they didn't say, "Oh, I didn't want to watch it." I mean, there's stuff that's been stuff for someone else, but
I mean, the only thing that was probably the biggest miss in the run was the Demon Balor stuff.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
the ending of that match was not so good. But
I agree.
But otherwise, I mean, listen, the WrestleMania win, which I mean, yeah, we all saw coming, but it was one of those things where it was like he did in the end.
Yes,
he had the help of the Usos, but
the result
said exactly what he was going to do.
I'm a results-based person. How you get to the result, I don't necessarily always care about. But did you get the intended result? They did.
He said, "I'm going to stack them and I'm going to pin them,
smash them, stack them, pin them."
And he did it.
And then they made a shirt on.
And then he made a shirt on. They talked about him on AEW. He takes a vacation. He comes back. He has a new shirt that moves called Needle Mover.
He also, by the way, comes back and says, "I'm gone for 1 week." And it's almost as bad as Raw. And I'm just like, oh my god, he's the most self-aware character on television.
And then
it was so good.
By the way, so you know, most of the time, sometimes wrestlers, and I never have a problem with it, but sometimes when they cut a promo, even as a heel, it's a lot of yelling. You know what I mean? It's a lot of anger.
He whispers a lot.
It's
not so much whisper.
It's not even really. It's a condescending conversation.
He even did
that.
Oh
yeah.
He even
did that.
And what was crazy to me was, okay, Warrior did the dumbest thing when he went to WCW, and he basically already told people, "I beat you, Hogan," and Hogan, being the ever businessman, not wrestler, even said. Yep. I believe it was the DVD that they put out about Warrior.
I think so.
WWE did. Where he said, "Why would anybody want to buy a ticket? You've already said what's happened." Roman, as soon as Seth said death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns 1-on-1, Roman just sat there and was like, "This is a new era. This is different."
But what I liked though before he said that, so let's get into this awesome fucking promo from this Friday.
And by the way, Allison didn't realize until the recap before the promo that he did the Shield knock.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think was lost on some people.
Like, so, by the way,
by the way, they picked up on it because they flashed the lights.
Right. And
during
I told people the first time I watched it 2 weeks ago when he came in, because I was the one who told you guys, I was like, no, he did not. Because, like, I heard him like, no way is that Seth Rollins. Because clearly that's the Shield theme. And I'm like, that's Sly, son of a bitch. That's good.
Yeah, then when I watched the recap, I listened for that specifically. I was like, oh my God.
How much you want to bet they just told Seth to knock and he came up with that?
Right.
How much you want to bet that was Seth?
It's just beautiful storytelling.
Yeah, it's so
we
good.
just call back to we've already done this really well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so Seth comes
And by the way, folks, credit to WWE. The package leading up to this on SmackDown, Dean was involved.
Yes. Smartly, they've been a lot better. But listen, yes, he's not with the company anymore. But he's such a huge part of that whole era.
Yeah. The Shield wasn't just Roman and Seth. Dean, despite the long title reign that never had anything to happen, Dean was it's really interesting when you look back.
He was actually supposed to be
the breakout guy.
The breakout guy.
Yeah. What's super interesting is that, Jesse, when you really look back at it, they are probably in their run together an equal 33.3% each guy. I mean, they were very much all on the same level.
Oh yeah.
But it is funny when you watched Seth's first moment of stabbing them in the back after the Evolution, you could tell Roman has gone from caveman to sophisticated man in his promo because like they weren't brothers. I'm like, dude, you literally sound like a caveman.
Right.
You literally sound like they're just making you a muscle head, dude. But like
Right.
here's the deal. It showed the growth that each guy had.
Right.
In the package. And then like you said, when you were watching them stare each other down in the back, you're like, oh, he's gonna do the cackle. he's gonna cackle.
Oh, yes.
And Roman by the way, correct. All right, don't get me wrong. The King has some great ones.
Yeah.
Is Roman not the best facial expression guy in wrestling right now?
So that's what I was getting.
He's just on another level.
So the line about, hey, death, taxes, and my record against you, I won every single one. And Roman's facial expression, like, son of a bitch, he's right. Like I've never beaten this. I've never beaten him.
Yeah.
I've never beaten him. And then also the line where he's like, well, listen, recently I don't need two people to come and win my matches for me. Once again, he's like, son of a bitch.
He's kind of right.
Like it was at first it was okay. He's getting in Roman's head, like he's because this is Seth.
Yep.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I made you.
Like Brock is the beast that has always given him issues. Absolutely.
Yes.
But he's beaten Brock.
Yeah.
He's never beaten Seth. And that it's one of those things like in Mick Foley's Hall of Fame speech, which of course Jericho, very famously and funnily did.
I never beat Chris Jericho.
I never beat Chris Jericho. Like when you can play that up, it works in this like damn.
Which by the way, I don't want to shit on Mick's moment, but another show of Phil. Did you really have it that bad? You seemed like you were having fun.
Right, because you went out and counted the three.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing. So there's
also I know we don't like to do this in the show. Give Jericho credit. That bump probably hurt on that stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So here's the thing. So he's kind of giving Roman the business at first because he's just bringing up nothing but facts. Like, you've never beaten me.
Yeah.
I made you. Think about it, Roman. If I don't stab you in the back, do you become what you become?
That's fair.
Like,
That's true.
and it's just
Fair.
like.
Very
Even
fair.
like Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee, who's so good, it made me laugh out loud because he's like, "Damn, this son of a bitch is making good points."
It's almost like Pat is pulling the headset off and talking to Michael without the mic going.
Right.
But Pat just forgets to take the microphone off.
Yeah.
But Jesse, to your point, a side tangent here on Pat. Everything Pat does is genuine because, like you said, he does not need their money.
Right.
By
the way, they also don't tell him anything before the show.
They legally have to pay Pat because he's doing a service,
Right.
but he doesn't need the money.
No.
And Pat, and by the way, if you watch Corey, if you watch guys on Raw, because again, I was sitting right behind them,
Right.
they do have a script.
Right.
Script is a bad word.
It's scripted words that they're supposed to use. Phrases.
Well, basically, it's a layout of the show.
Right.
It's segment by segment.
Right.
Pat has no paper in front of him.
Right.
It's literally, Pat, here's 2 hours of we're going to put you out there for 2 hours. And by the way, when Pat McAfee took that fucking mini WWE belt, threw it over his shoulder, I'm just looking at myself like, this man is Snoop Dogg level of he doesn't care anymore.
He's already won.
He's won everything.
He's just doing all the side
and
quests
he's doing
now.
whatever the hell he wants.
He's doing all the side quests.
Doing
The
the side
difference
quests,
is
yes.
that unlike Snoop, even though Snoop's got the money, unlike Snoop, Pat's actually making money on all the side
Yeah,
stuff.
right,
I mean,
right,
it's
right.
incredible.
Right.
But back to your Roman
And
thing.
so Seth's pointing out all these facts, and then Roman finally goes, "What are you doing out here? What? You're a clown. You're a clown. Look, you look like." By the way, which made me laugh.
I thought it was you for a
yeah.
second.
I'm like, I think Roman
Yes.
listens to the show.
Does Roman listen to our show?
You look like a clown. You're a clown. And then he goes,
By the way, Pat McAfee, like before all that, he did acknowledge all of the internet jokes about Seth's attire. He was like,
Yes.
"What's he gonna wear? Michael Jackson looking dude. I'm like, Pat is all of us internet people, but gets a voice on the show.
Right.
That's who Pat is.
Oh, yes.
Nobody reads wrestling Twitter more than Pat.
Right. And so,
that's his only prep is wrestling Twitter.
You know, he starts cutting. You're a clown, Seth. I'm gonna smash you.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. You're wasting my time.
If I wanted a real main event,
I wouldn't have looked at you. You wouldn't be the first person in your own household. If I wanted to main event the Royal Rumble, I would have chose your wife.
And by the way, even though with the veil removed, we know who it is.
Right.
Never said her name.
Right.
I know.
It says once again, selling facial expression. We know who he's talking about.
So, okay, here's the deal, though. Again, the thing that AEW fails at, because AEW is like the Attitude Era in that everything's just reactionary. They don't make you think about it. We all know who his wife is, but the name was never said.
Right.
The fans chanted it, but again, the chant was a little off the mic. It made us subconsciously have to think about it for a second, so it brought us back. Roman has this weird cadence that when he speaks, he says something where all of a sudden you have to think about it, and all of a sudden you're back into it.
And because
he might trail off a little bit, but something happens and you're right back in it.
And it's also the way it's the condescending way he speaks. Because
he's arguably the first person in the history of the Samoan dynasty to take the status that he has and be condescending about it. Because remember, Rock was condescending because he was a movie star, not because of the family dynasty. The head shrinkers were never big in it. Yokozuna wasn't even a part of it.
No.
And Alpha and Sika were more of a tag team.
Right.
So
Hollywood Rock, go watch that old stuff.
Oh, God, so good.
To run his mouth on all your candy. When he did that when I was 14, I was like, oh, he's about to talk some serious shit for like 10 minutes. Let's buckle in.
Yeah. But I mean, Jesse, for the first time, the dynasty is looking down on everybody else, which again is a subliminal thing that people, you have to think about it. Name the dynasty. Who was the heel in the dynasty? Because remember, Rock's part of the dynasty, but Rock was the heel only because the fans were in real life were angry that he was going to Hollywood.
Right.
So, and again, Yokozuna was not a part of the dynasty at the time. He's been grandfathered in because now we're telling the story. But Leroy, you've seen virtually the entire giant dynasty going back to Chief Jay Strongbow.
Yeah.
Sorry, the great High Chief Peter Maivia. I apologize.
Yeah, Maivia. It's close.
But you watch Peter Maivia. Peter Maivia wasn't a condescending person.
No, he was a big baby. He was a baby face.
Yeah, the whole dynasty up until now has been babyface. And like Jesse said, as a heel, he's outselling everybody in merch.
He's starting to hit Stone Cold numbers.
I think some of the head shrinkers and Islanders, a couple of them were not totally babyface when they were tag teams.
But again, they weren't telling the story of the dynasty at the time.
No.
The head shrinkers were never main event.
They were
and like
just,
I said, Alpha and Sika, who are now at the top because Peter Maivia has passed away. Sadly.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, exactly. They're now the patriarchs of the family, but Alpha and Sika were always known as the guys that like, oh, they gonna whoop some ass here, but they're not, and Rikishi was always a babyface for the most part. Even his, even his heel
pretty much
stuff, Rikishi was kind of a lackey heel. He wasn't like a top heel.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the subliminal things of basically taking years of history and literally 50-51 flipping.
Yeah, because
everything's different.
In the 80s, because Heenan managed a couple of them back then.
Yeah.
So it was Heenan's voice, their voice, whatever. But
Cornette had Yokozuna for a period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly, obviously, Yokozuna is known for being with
Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji. Yep. When they were saying, hey, we're going to go home. No, wait a minute. You're going to do this. All right. Let's go with it.
But my point is that these guys are bringing up history of themselves, but they're also bringing everything else into it.
And it makes the story feel so much richer. And
by the way, what's really interesting, we all know the real Colby Lopez.
Of course.
We all know him. He's done enough backstage stuff.
Right.
It's weird, Jesse, when he speaks,
Yeah.
everyone says that Seth's doing this stupid shit. Seth seems to be into this.
Oh, he's definitely enjoying it because it's one. You could tell it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's
and then
Seth looks like an idiot every night,
right.
but he gets paid to do it.
Right.
He loves
he's
it.
Enjoying himself. And then number two, I mean, because they have so much history. It's like Shawn Michaels and Triple H. When they, every now and then before they kind of finally finished the feud in like 2004, it's like there's so much history here that the background of the story now is so rich that they don't even have to say it to each other. You just know, like, you know that they hate each other. Like you, you know, while there was a brotherhood here, like there's no love lost anymore.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for this match. And I tell people, I gotta be honest, it could happen. It could happen at the Rumble. Seth could win this thing.
So that's, and as I got it down here, I'll ask you guys, what's the bigger match coming at the Royal Rumble? Seth Roman, Brock, and Lashley. What do you think? Killer matches. Dream matches.
They're both great.
Main event caliber matches.
Here's the deal.
Yes,
I'm going to take Brock and Lashley because, in my opinion, this is the only it's the only reason why Lashley came back.
Right.
Like, I mean, call me crazy. Bobby Lashley, arguably, not even arguably, booked as the most dominant African-American champion any company ever, anywhere.
Right.
Yes.
And that's not enough for Bobby. This was the only reason.
Right.
Like, I mean, to think that the most prestigious title in all of wrestling, back to the days of the WWF.
Right.
Yeah.
Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, who, by the way, folks, go watch old Bob Backlund matches. They are bangers, all of them.
Oh, my God.
Technical bangers. They're really good.
To think about the most prestigious title in all of wrestling, and even Jim Cornette has to sit there and say, nope, it is. Like, I mean, it is.
It is.
You can't deny that. To think that Bobby didn't give a shit, and he just came back to want the Brock match. And by the way, I know people wanted someone else to take the pin in that Fatal 5-Way, but it should not have been Lashley, and this helps Bobby move this up.
Right,
but I'll take this because it's gonna be big, and which is weird because it's big meaty men slapping meat. So obviously, I think Jesse should have it on the show.
Big meaty men slapping the meat for probably about 10 minutes.
But
all we need.
But I'm gonna take the devil's advocate and say this is the one because again, they've already seen the other one. Yes, it's a different iteration of the story.
Right.
But we don't know this.
Right.
Are they going to give it back to Lashley? Is Brock... Because, by the way, even Jim Cornette and Brian Last had to finally say it on their podcast. They finally said it. We've been saying it longer, but they finally said it.
Yep.
Holy shit, Brock actually might be enjoying this.
Well,
I think he is.
like he's having a great time.
And I posted the picture on my official Facebook, so people who I know that aren't even into wrestling probably don't get it. But it's like there's a special place in my heart that every day wonders what is Brock Lesnar going to wear to the ring. There's a special place in my heart for whatever.
I've never seen
true.
a man wear so many different kinds of denim in his outfit. It's very Canadian of him.
Yes, it really is.
And he's from Minnesota and South Dakota, and he's doing that.
But he lives in Canada now.
But Jesse, to me, that's the bigger match because we don't know anything.
Right.
And I think the fun part about this too.
Go ahead, Leroy.
I think the fun part about this too is not going to be a long match. It's going to be a brutal match.
Oh yeah.
This does lead up. They're going to be able to do another one or two.
And the other crazy part about it is the fact, like, okay, the visual of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's a freak. Bobby Lashley has a military mindset and a body that, yes, probably was sculpted by God himself because Bobby's on some good shit.
Oh, yeah.
But my point is this. He looks like a Mr. Olympian athlete.
Right.
Brock looks like a quote-unquote bum.
Right.
The problem is, it's still Brock Lesnar.
Still Brock Lesnar.
He's arguably the alpha male of the human race.
Right.
Brock Lesnar might actually have a shot against an actual bear. That is a scary thought process.
He would probably win.
I do agree with that. But then if you sit back and you watch, Stone Cold had Bobby on.
Yeah.
If you watch that, you
Which,
learn
by the way,
you learn more
about
Bobby.
Ever opened up. And
was.
Bobby was a great interview.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. But that shows him and how he is, his mentality going in here, how much of a fan he was anyways before he got to do this.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. Brock and Lashley 2
is
going to be awesome.
Do you want to advocate for Seth and Roman now, or do you want to just...
It's so hard for me not to advocate for Seth and Roman.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to...
You do that, and then...
I agree with you.
You agree, but Leroy, you gave a nice little, breakdown of your opinion of it. You give your advocation, and then Leroy, explain why that match is still a banger to watch. But go ahead, Jesse.
So, to me, Seth and Roman, because there is a... It's one of those things like when I see Randy Orton in a title picture match. The threat is always there for him to win. The threat of Seth winning is there.
Not just because of Randy's history, but because Randy's finisher is very protected.
And it's also one of those things...
If he hits it, it don't matter what story he's in.
And the thing with Seth is he's such a main event guy, and he's been in and out of the picture, but he's such a main event guy that this is the first time that it dawns on the casual fan when it comes to a Roman Championship match. He could legitimately lose it. He could because we saw it at the end of SmackDown. That's right. Seth always outsmarts this guy too.
Well, Jesse, that's the unique story because you asked yourself,
right,
who's going to be the babyface?
Right.
Well, WWE always keeps that logic of the babyface is smarter. Jesse, he avoided the Usos on multiple occasions.
They basically were never going to catch him.
No.
And even at the end, he still got Roman's face as he avoided him one last time.
Yep.
I'm like, listen, because that's Seth reminding Roman, smarter than you.
And I know that, and you know what's interesting? I know that Jim Johnston has said numerous times that Seth's new music has no soul. Seth has made that music...
He's made it a lot of fun, though.
He's made it a lot of fun for the fans.
He has a lot of fun with that.
Seth on Raw, when I was there, was the smarmy heel. Oh, by the way, people want to give shit about St. Paul not having great attendance. Jesse, the picture's been flown around. Hangman's music plays. How many people do you think were in that audience?
Oh, my God. That arena was mostly empty.
Yep.
And
I
by
did
the
see
way,
that,
That
yes.
was on the right side. So what they had to do, what they ended up doing... I think they pulled a WWE. They had all those fans try to fill out the rest of the seats from the left to the right.
Okay. I want to point something out. When I was there, people want to call bullshit, whatever. Nobody was pulled in.
Right.
Everyone sat right. There were people in the area where the hard camera wasn't, but people gotta understand, WWE did not pull people over.
Right.
So they did sell the tickets that were on television at that Raw. I want to make that clear. But folks, wrestling attendance is just down. Give it up. Stop trying to compare this, because here's the deal.
Yeah.
1 week WWE has a bad show, but AEW clearly has their faults. You're going to find problems on both sides.
I keep telling people, by the way, because it's pro wrestling fans' fault, that unless you go to Japan to that scene, or you go to the UK and you go to that scene in America, you're not going to sell out an arena. What they did in Atlanta for day one was pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where they basically almost sold out the whole arena.
Yeah.
For what was a B pay-per-view. So
back to your point. So yeah.
But yeah, kind of to get that out there, because that's a dead argument now, because even AEW show attendance recently has been horrible.
Because folks, why would the picture have been of something else? Why was Hangman coming out as the world champion, if not to be part of what he was on Dynamite? But I digress.
But so with Seth and Roman, it's also, what if Roman wins? How does he win this time? Because even though technically,
you've essentially made the Usos useless.
Right.
You've essentially made them a null and void part of the story.
Seth just showed you. Well, he's going to outsmart the Usos. He's going to figure out something for the Usos. So you can remove that. You don't have Paul Heyman right now. So how's he going to beat him? He's so far in your careers.
It's the heel who gets too full of himself.
Right.
He technically starts to destroy his own empire.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're on the island, but all of a sudden you don't have the protection around you, and the rest of the island people are like, well, why are we listening to you when you don't have the heavy hand?
Correct.
The quote-unquote wise man is no longer on your side.
Right.
We're a bunch of islanders who believe in the wise man. So I'm just setting the scene of like movies and TVs here, but it's like all of a sudden, it's a very lonely island.
Plus, I got to be honest. I think at the Royal Rumble for the first time in probably 15 years, you're going to see the most title changes you've seen.
Oh, really?
One of the world champions is losing.
To quote,
Shinsuke's losing that title.
Oh yeah,
Sammy. That's gone.
To point this out to Jesse, normally the Royal Rumble, especially in the last 15 years, has been used to. Okay, this is who's going to be going into WrestleMania as the title holder.
Right,
so yeah,
right, because it sets up who's going to be on WrestleMania.
And Charlotte, remember, is in the Rumble.
Yeah, she's in the Rumble, so she's going to be kind of playing a little bit of Brock this year, probably.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, I don't want to hear people talk about how WWE only brought back Lita because she was talking to AEW. Congratulations to Lita if that's what she did by pitting two companies against each other, because Lita
she got paid.
Oh hell yeah!
But she was always going to be there for the Rumble, at least, so that didn't matter.
No. It brought so much good memories.
Not to mention the fact,
just
I hate to say it, I don't know of a woman.
She's the only one that makes veganism look good.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm still not going to do it, but
no. I just take a look at a 48-ounce steak and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I see a rotisserie chicken. I'm like, how do you not eat that?
Exactly. but Jesse, okay.
Yep.
Next week, all three of us, write this down. Next week, all three of us need to come up with one woman who isn't already from the indie scene brought into WWE.
Okay.
One woman that we think could actually go to AEW and ultimately be accepted by that fan base. Because I'm sorry, we've talked about it. Charlotte, why would Charlotte go there? She's immediately the outcast.
Yeah.
So we all agree that we won't pick Charlotte, but we got to come up with a woman, past or present, of WWE that going there would actually turn the needle. Because Jesse, like I said, Lita would have been a big thing. Well, first of all, you couldn't have used Lita's music.
No.
Banger of a song, by the way.
Yeah.
I love her song. You couldn't use the music. I guarantee half the audience wouldn't have known who she was. It would have been very Mercedes Martinez-esque. It probably would have been a dud. But in my opinion, we got to find a woman that is WWE grown that would go there and actually turn the needle, because everyone's like, oh, Charlotte would do it. You people would start booing her a week in.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the problem. She'd come in and they'd be like, why are they pushing this former WWE talent? Because she's better than 90% of what you got.
Probably only Bianca. It's literally
Maybe.
the only name I can come up with.
You want to just do it right now, Leroy? You got anybody?
No, I got to think about it.
Okay.
I think I
Jesse,
think
I mean, if we want to do a full list, then we'll do this.
No, do a
week.
full list.
But I know
You
right
can do-
now, like if
Bianca's the
you
only
put
one
me
you
on
can
the
think of?
spot, the only name I could come up with is Bianca Belair.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep thinking.
Rhea Ripley would not fit in that company.
No.
Because automatically you go, well, she's not world champion, so now I don't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But it's still hard to believe right now in WWE. But it's in AEW, but she's not world champion.
And
I just don't believe it.
And by the way, to the smart AEW crowd, don't give me Ruby Soho.
You killed that.
We've already
That's
talked.
done.
We've already talked about it.
You proved our points on that.
Yup.
That's done.
Yep, we're done there.
She's basically where she was, except she's just well known. But she's basically she's not too far from catering again.
She just has a better theme song.
Right.
But anyway, so okay, you've got Roman and Seth. I've got Brock and Lashley. Leroy, are you on Brock and Lashley's train here?
I think Brock and Lashley are gonna be great. I do think Seth.
By the way, next
week, and Roman.
By the way, next week, put this in all caps, Leroy. Next week, Jesse and I gotta figure out a bet when it comes to the Rumble.
Yes.
Because
we gotta we gotta review the Rumble next.
We gotta review it next
2 weeks.
Next.
The bets.
No, it's in 10 days, but we got to review it
it's
Sunday
on a Saturday,
before.
I think.
It's on a Saturday.
It's so this upcoming Saturday is my birthday. It would be the Saturday after that. It's a
26.
26.
Yeah.
10 days from now. We're recording on the 16th.
Right.
It's gonna be up Monday, but it's 10 days from now. And I think if I'm right, we need to.
A lot of Saturday pay-per-views for them this year.
That you know what? I was thinking that.
Only WrestleMania has a Sunday. pay-per-view.
To be fair, though, Jesse, they might just be doing that to quote-unquote, this might be the one thing that AEW is making them do is just change the day of the week. It's also, Jesse, to be fair...
It's not a bad process.
And by the way, Jesse, you and I have always talked about this. Saturday's almost the better day because you have to go to work the next day.
Yeah, right.
So it's hard to stay up and watch it late.
At least on Sunday, you actually, that's probably why the day one crowd did so well, because at least most of the people aren't going to have to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
So you can literally, you do your, especially like the Royal Rumble in St. Louis. Hey, we're going to do this.
And if you're a wrestling fan, and if you're a wrestling fan, you don't mind giving up one of your Saturday nights to go to the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'll get the participants that we have so far by next Sunday, so we can sit there figure it out. But I do think Roman and Seth, both champions, are not losing. I don't see Roman losing.
Okay.
I don't think either one is losing.
I think one is losing.
I don't. Because I think
get you on this bet too.
What? I think Roman.
He would have to give up his immunity from Rhodes to the Top first. He's been given that on the show, and he would have to give that up. So,
yeah, I'd have to fight. No, I think Roman.
You'd have to really talk to a lawyer about that.
Yeah, I hate lawyers. I think honestly Roman is gonna beat Seth to get that monkey off his back, because that's the biggest thing. So, but then what does it lead? Of who's going to fight who at WrestleMania.
Well, Jesse's got a big indication that the women's Royal Rumble match will end with a SmackDown participant.
Yes.
What do you have for the men's? Who do you think's walking out of that?
It's in my head. It's Big E.
Okay.
You think so?
It's the only one that makes sense.
Okay.
Because Sheamus, why? He'll just lose again.
That's fair. All right.
Cesaro. It seems like since they pulled a Dave Chappelle, they're like, "Gotcha, bitch! You signed the contract. You got your one match. You were excellent. No more of that."
Hopefully, yeah. We will do our pick next week for that. Definitely.
Plus, they should be finished almost close to finish announcing matches after this week too.
That's fair. Also, a little more news out of SmackDown. King Woods is out for a while.
Possibly missing WrestleMania.
Torn off the bone calf.
That's what they're saying, 4 to 6. So
I have a feeling after surgery he might show up and do non-physical things.
Yeah, well, because he's already guaranteed to miss the Rumble.
Yeah.
He's bad.
But can I just point something out?
He's on G4 doing stuff.
Kofi goddamn Kingston, as with the fucking scroll. Was that not the best goddamn thing on the show?
And his big freaking thing pin that he has on his chest. Royal decree. Somebody royal has to be in the Royal Rumble. Of course, Kofi, you're going to be in there.
So much.
It's really good.
Kofi, you are a goddamn genius. Thank you, Kofi Kingston. That was so good. It's just, you can't tell me that Woods is being forced to do some kind of king gimmick for this. He's got to be having fun with this.
He clearly always wanted to be king of the ring.
Yeah, and he wanted to do stupid shit. And by the way, we might get a chance to see some more up, down, down stuff with this, because he did stream recently.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of people on the stream, though, were like, just go make a new YouTube channel. He can't because of his contract.
Right.
So it's like, again, what's really weird to me is, even the people that were on Up, Down, Down said they were taking a break in solidarity. But I would even look at them and be like, why are we picking now when there's less content, but he's on the show more?
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird.
Right.
It's weird that the controversy came up as he was being pushed towards King of the Ring, as he was on the show weekly. You go back and watch when he was doing Uno with DeParty, with Chugs, Adam Cole, Swiss, Claudio, Cesaro, and Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze. When they were doing that, he was kind of in every other SmackDown here and there. He was in like a random segment, this or that. But you guys picked a moment. And again, I don't know anything backstage. I don't know what Cole and Breeze know. I don't know what they know.
Right.
But it's just weird because the optics, the visual is he's on the show every week and he's in a prominent segment.
Yeah.
He might not have time to do Up, Down, Down. Is all I'm saying here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's on G4 too. So.
Okay. Leroy has it on here. I heard rumblings of it, but I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. Sadly, we missed them because of the pandemic. The Rock and Roll Express may finally be calling it quits.
They are.
So
well, it's wrestling. Never say never, but I get the point.
Well, apparently, I think is it Ricky, the blonde?
Yeah.
Well, apparently that knee ain't gonna hold out too much longer. No. So yeah, they're kind of going on a farewell tour.
40+ years, these guys.
I couldn't believe they were still around. I'm like, they're still around,
and they still put on good matches.
Right? It's
Can we? All right. For those of you who don't realize, this is one of the most successful tag teams of all time. Successful babyface tag teams.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
And
well, it says here, Ricky Morton, he announced that they're going to be doing a farewell tour in 2022.
Yeah.
And he is going to more focus on with his son Kerry and behind the scenes in pro wrestling.
WWE Hall of Famers inducted by the man who was not their manager, but was but was one of their greatest rivals over the years.
Right.
Folks, if you sit there and you say I love tag team wrestling and I love the Young Bucks, that means you have yet to see a Rock and Roll versus Midnight Express match, because those matches, Jesse, I've watched a lot of Rock and Roll versus Midnight. They're so good.
Well, here's a good, and at the end of this article, and they have a match. If you're in South Carolina, Spartanburg, South Carolina, on the 22nd of January, they are going to be at the Memorial Auditorium facing FTR.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
That is going to be a great match. So if you're in that area, get some tickets and watch that match.
The only negative, Bobby Eaton wasn't here to say goodbye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
But I will say this, Jesse, are there enough adjectives to describe what a Rock and Roll versus Midnight match was?
Classic. Bona fide.
Oh, yeah.
Studs. Pioneers.
How anyone could look at those matches and not want to build an entire tag team division like that, I don't understand.
And they're still going. I mean, that's...
They literally wrote the book on how to create a great tag team rivalry / division.
And they actually followed the old school rules of tag team wrestling.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then oh, God.
There we go. And transitioning off them, speaking about tag teams, we are almost time later on this month for the Dusty Road Classic 2 to go on NXT. They are bringing that back.
We're bringing back the Dusty Road Classic.
They only
men and women's.
Yep.
They only have.
By the way, it's unfair that we haven't talked about this yet. The women's Dusty Rhodes matches last year, they were all amazing.
Oh yeah.
That was a good tournament.
Dakota Kai with a great
they've only mentioned the men's right now. Jacket Time, MSK, Edis Info, and Malak Blade, and Brooke Jensen and Josh Bridges. Them are announced right now. That's the newest ones right now.
So far, it's a nice mixture of the new breed,
right?
Which I think is going to give us a lot of really good. Although
I gotta say,
I hate to say it, your winners may be, if they end up in it, it might be Harlan and fucking Joe Gacy.
I love
Joe
Gacy.
Oh yeah,
he is so uncomfortably creepy.
But hopefully soon
he's everything Bray was supposed to be.
Hopefully soon they'll announce the ladies are going to be the ladies side of that, so it'll be great. Yes, I do love him. It's so much fun. Can't wait for.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tuesday
tonight. In fact, in
Terminus.
about an hour.
Yes, about
Jesse,
an hour from our
there's a hell of a show going on for a new promotion. Now, it's a full promotion now.
Right.
It is a new full promotion.
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
It is a black owned.
Yep.
And it has the purest wrestling champion in all of wrestling as its head creator.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Jonathan Gresham.
And we did talk about last week rules.
Yep.
The rules, we talked about that last week.
The rules are very interesting. It seems that Jonathan Gresham with Terminus wants to create a very pure wrestling callback style.
I think what he's going to do is he's going to do Ring of Honor better than Ring of Honor did.
It could be.
Here's a quick question.
I got the lineup here too if I go over it too.
Before we get to the lineup, I want to give the company name credit.
Right.
Jesse, why is Jonathan Gresham arguably the perfect man to do this?
Jonathan Gresham has a 20-plus year history in pro wrestling. even though he was only 3 years older than me. He also had uncles who were former pro wrestlers. He's one of the pioneers of getting black wrestlers to sign up to the idea of, well, listen, if we're not going to be, even nowadays, if we're still not going to be given enough opportunity on the indie scene, we'll find a way to show our talents. Even if our white counterparts want us on these shows, but we're not getting on these shows. I forget the one wrestler's name. Skinny black kid. Because they did the BLM one during 2020, but back in 2012, Jonathan Gresham 2010 really started to make this movement in pro wrestling, especially in the UK, where they had a really, really interestingly bad issue with minority wrestlers.
So you're saying it's not just a problem in the American scene?
Oh no.
It's everywhere.
No. Now Japan was always decent at it.
Well, but Japan again understands that when they bring in gaijins, it's an attraction.
And here was the thing: what they learned was, because MVP was the first to go.
He was the first Intercontinental Champion,
right? Well,
IWGP
yeah. But he was also one of the first to tell young black wrestlers, like, well, if you go there, embrace the dojo, embrace their way, and you will get your shine.
You
Jonathan
can
Gresham,
be black, white, from anywhere.
Right.
As long as you embrace the dojo
right,
idea,
they're going to be good with you.
They'll work with you. Yeah.
And so, and what Jonathan Gresham was really touting was, well, listen, hell, some of my white counterparts and mostly women, I'm gonna find a way through my connections of growing fame through Ring of Honor, where he's done so many of these like little indie shows every now and then. That's kind of where you get your stronger version now of PWGs and your MLWs. It's because Jonathan Gresham was one of the first guys who was in a pro wrestling company to do this. I am super pumped because Jonathan is going to do a great job of allowing the world to see good young talent. And he's going to use established talent to do it in a way that I think pro wrestling fans will appreciate. Plus, because he's got so much money, I got a good feeling about this show tonight as Leroy gets ready to get into what is a really stacked card.
First and foremost, as Jesse said, born in '88.
Yeah.
He is 33 years old.
So a year older than me.
What a lovely spouse he has.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Trained by Curtis Hughes, Jay Fury, and the WWA 4 Wrestling School. Mm-hmm. His official debut was in 2005, March 5th, actually.
Yep.
List of companies. Ugh. CZW X WXW, Chikara, IWA Mid South, Full Impact Pro, TNA, Evolve. I mean, he's wrestled in over 15 different countries. He won the Best of the Best 15 in 2016.
Yes, sir.
He was a world champion in CZW. He was the Cruiserweight champion for Crash.
Yes.
By the way, the Crash promotion is getting crashed by our boy Super Beast, who's also out there for Dark Arts Entertainment.
Oh, yes, sir.
Super Beast will not be working many dates in the United States this year because he'll be spending a lot of his time in Mexico, among Puerto Rico, I believe, as well.
Correct.
But Super Beast is also a major star in Dark Arts Entertainment, who once again, and this year, are going to be bringing you a lot of great wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Jesse cannot wait to review these shows.
Oh,
folks,
absolutely.
Folks, let me tell you something. Jesse will not shut up about these matches. If you get him on,
oh yeah,
he loves everything about what's happening. Dark Arts Entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, presents to Live Pro Wrestling Monthly at the Super Beast Training Compound located in the Arts District of
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Sin City, baby. It is a hybrid of pro wrestling with an underground feel. Dark Arts Entertainment shows also include live bands, sideshow entertainment, food, beer, and they are what, Jesse?
They are 420 friendly, so bring your weed and have some fun.
There you go. Come see top talent matchups you won't find in any other promotion in Vegas. And Jesse, there is talent in there. We say it after every time, but
the talent pool that runs through
the Vegas area,
that organization is insane.
And thankfully, even though they are in the in the SoCal area, they're not going to Jacksonville via SoCal.
No.
For more information or to get tickets to the shows, head over to darkartsvegas.com or grab the official mobile app from the App Store in either iOS or Android today. That is Dark Arts Entertainment, capital D-A-R-K, capital A-R-T-S, capital V-E-E-G-A-S.com. Once again, we cannot wait to start talking about those shows. Jesse has so much fun watching them. Do you have the official app, or do you want...
So I usually go and find them on the YouTube, but
Okay.
I am downloading the app.
All right.
I hit up a couple of the guys who know about the app. I can't wait to get on the app more, to go through the library. Super Beast and you got Funny Bone.
Funny Bone.
We'll get the chance to see here very soon.
February 12th.
Down at
That's
Heart of the Warrior.
Heart of the Warrior. Turtle Bay Casino.
Turtle Lake, Wisconsin.
Or Turtle Lake.
and
Turtle Lake, Wisconsin,
Turtle Lake.
at the St. Croix Casino.
And listen, it's because it's not just the fact that, by the way, the compound is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's the fact that the show, it's almost the Wild West of pro wrestling, except it's very contained.
Yeah.
And because of the 420 friendliness, the alcohol, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, guys could slip up, girls could slip up. Doesn't matter. Everyone's still having a good time. It's a very relaxed setting. But they don't slip up often.
No.
Because they're so well trained. These are banger-ass matches from very, very young talent. So, yeah, definitely go check out Dark Arts Entertainment in Vegas. Like I said, I'm going to go to at least 2 or 3 shows this year.
You have the plans.
Going.
There you go.
But
Go
anyway,
for it.
no.
I may be too high to remember the last matches, but I'm going.
Leroy, what is our card for this first ever show? And like we said, folks, black-owned business, never a bad thing as
Right.
well. But, again, this guy in 2021, after debuting in 05, so
Right.
like Jesse said, a lot of years in the business,
Oh, yeah.
he was number 20 in the PWI. What does that tell you that many years into your career?
That's good.
Number 20
Though, to be fair, their list this year.
was a bit off.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get down to the car before
There
I
we
get
go.
disgusted.
All right. First, we got up.
Just wait till Dave's 2021 stuff
Oh,
comes out.
jeez.
I don't want to know.
We got Dante and Joe Keys versus Tracy Williams and Fred Yahi?
Yachty.
Y-E-H-I.
Yachty.
Yachty?
Yachty.
Okay.
And by the way, folks, we're not going to spend the time to break down every person that's on the card because a lot of their names you probably don't know from mainstream,
Right.
but they're all banger talents.
Yes, they
I've,
are.
I've personally researched every guy on the card. They're all banger talents.
yeah.
There we go. Next, we got a 4-way here with Daniel Garcia, our boy JDX, Clash, and Adam Priest.
You are going to see...
That's going to be a hell of a
that,
match right there.
Okay, no offense to the rest of the card, and not just because our boy JDX in it.
Right.
That match has potential to steal that whole show.
Well, it's not just JDX. Adam Priest, who they've only used as a jobber at somewhere in Jacksonville, Florida, is such a talent.
Yeah.
Is such an underrated talent. That's going to be a great match.
And if we can
I
get...
love watching Adam stuff that isn't in...
Yeah.
He's when he's not in Jacksonville, he steals shows.
I wish Dave could find a way to get him up to MAW because he would throw a banger-ass matches here.
Hey, man, just hit up Dave.
Send a message to Dave. Ask him.
I think I will.
There you go. He gladly answers a message as soon as he can.
Yep.
A busy guy. All right. Hopefully, we get JDX on the show here after that,
We
too.
will.
So,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
all right.
Oh, yeah.
We're working at it. All right.
He's down.
Then,
He's super down to come talk to us.
oh, yeah. Then Lee
Jesse may have to keep some of his
Moriarty
factory
versus Jay
opinions to
Lethal.
A
decide.
little bit.
Moose versus Alex Coughlin. What is that?
Anytime you get to see Moose wrestle
Oh, yeah.
in general right now, he's just on such a tear.
Lee Moriarty, though. I mean,
Yeah, him and Jay Lethal.
he's been terribly booked.
Yeah.
And yet, everyone's... And I mean, the AEW fan base is like, yo, I want to see more of this kid.
There you go.
He is special.
Hard to that's the one credit that I'll actually give to that fan base is they'll look past the shitty booking and really look at the talent of
I
the
think
guy.
they look past the bad booking so often. I don't think they have a choice anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. They're so blind to it.
All
But
right.
anyway,
Then
no.
we get
Oh,
Diamante and Johnny K. I don't know Janie K. I'm not sure who they are.
So Jenny K is a former NWA talent as well.
okay.
Yep.
But Diamante,
Oh, we love ourselves some Diamante.
I'm confused though. Is she still in the AEW Women's Division?
Spell it.
Diamante.
I mean, we know why her former tag team partner is not in pro wrestling right now, because you should still do your damn job, but
Yeah.
So Diamante's still there.
She is officially still a member of the AEW roster.
Look, guys, Diamante is so much more than what you've seen on AEW television. I promise you. Diamante.
My guess is they have nothing to do with her right now because, like you said, her tag team partner pretty much kind of
shit the bed.
But
Shit
she,
the bed
but she
on
was
that.
already a really good singles wrestler. Was originally brought up by Eddie Kingston and Homicide in LAX. To me, talking about her is like talking about Mercedes Martinez. She's so good that when she doesn't get the shine she deserves, I'm just confused.
All right.
But go ahead.
Then we got our.
No. Before you go.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Folks, you want to know why Impact Wrestling has had a rough go? When she was there from 2017 to 2019, she was in a gauntlet match to become the #1 contender for the Impact Knockouts Women's Championship. She was eliminated by, you guessed it, Brandy Rhodes.
Oh God. All right.
The dark days.
Yeah.
Oof.
The
Yeah.
dark days of that.
All right. Well, the next one we got our girl, Jordan Grace, our favorite girl, Jizzy. She is defending her
Gresham's wife, of course.
Yeah, her Impact
Bastard.
Digital Media title is on the line against Kiera Hogan,
Man, yeah.
and then we have
That
Baron.
should be an absolute
That
classic.
should be a
Kiera
good one.
Hogan came to Duluth and
Yeah.
she was an excellent talent in that.
Oh
match.
yes.
Which, by the way, I think Heavy on Wrestling once again has their women's champion because Taya Valkyrie is no longer a member of WWE.
Right.
They
I'm not
theoretically-
sure about that.
Yeah. I don't know the
but
officialness
hopefully,
of that, but like we said, hopefully Heavy on Wrestling will get back at some point. Obviously, the pandemic is continuing to have a bit of an issue.
yeah. Right now, he is
I don't believe
working
she-
on that.
Because she's an NXT talent, she was only on a 30-day hold.
That's fair.
So she's off. It's her husband who's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta get a hold of Dave Sabeck there, get him a message, say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Then we got Baron Black versus Bandito for the RH World Title. Which
It was so sad
is
not to see
interesting.
him at that last Ring of Honor show. If anyone deserved to be on that show, it should have been Gresham and Bandito because
Chris Bandito has meant so much to not only Ring of Honor,
but just wrestling,
but
in
just
general.
pro wrestling. That
And he doesn't wrestle in a mask; he just wrestles in the bandana, right? Yeah.
right. But
That's on
it's-
tight, by the way.
Chris, you're right. I don't know if he'll ever get the due he deserves because so many times.
Do you think it's because of the fact that he's such a Mexican talent, and nowadays, sadly,
Maybe.
Mexico doesn't get the pop in wrestling that it once did?
That's a good point. Even though more people, because of Twitch and the internet,
Yeah.
are getting to know like Triple Mania and all that.
Yeah.
But Chris Bandito is such a talent.
And from everything that I've heard, nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and final match on the card
Yeah.
is Jonathan Grissom versus John Alexander for the interim ROH World Title. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
ROH just announced that I believe they're having another show in April.
Their plan is to do. I think it's called Final Battle.
I
And
think
They
April?
just did
that,
Final Battle.
Oh yeah.
Super Card of Honor?
Something
Is that what
like
it was?
that.
Yeah. Leroy, I think what's going to end up happening is they're probably going to become more of a spot show type of thing.
But regardless, holy shit!
That's a hell of a match card there.
Yeah.
Great match card.
Josh Alexander and Jonathan Gresham? Are you kidding me?
Can't
Yeah.
wait. Just cannot wait.
That is a banger. I'll be trying to find as many of
Jonathan,
these
I
online
apologize. I'm
afterwards.
gonna have to catch it tomorrow because my black ass will be going to sleep tonight.
Yep.
But
Hey,
I cannot wait to watch that.
sadly, Ethan Page could be here, but he decided to take the money in Jacksonville.
So sadly, Josh, Ethan Page will not be in your corner because he decided to become a jobber. You wouldn't know about that, Josh, because you stayed in Impact and you worked on your craft, and people were like, "Wait a minute, you're one of the best in the world," and they love you now.
Folks, we can't wait. We'll talk about Terminus next week. We'll hit up our boy
And
JDX.
Josh, it's okay if you get on Twitter and you're mad at me, but I just want you to ask yourself before you consider snapping my shit up, which he's very capable of doing. He's also a former firefighter now. Why is your former tag team partner a clown?
There you go.
That's all.
Jesse, it's funny you say that. It's funny that you transition to that because Jesse does not know what this is, but today it's Jesse's top 5.
You didn't even tell me it either.
Folks, it's Jesse's top 5 clowns.
Oh, boy. Pro wrestling?
Since he's been on the show.
Oh,
Jesse!
yes.
You got to give us a little take. Jesse, one of the highest praises we've gotten since we brought you on the show has been your ability to find someone and your just love of hating them has been such a breath of fresh air to our show.
Top 5, why are they clowns?
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you the people who I think our viewers believe are the worst offenders.
Okay.
But then I need you to rank them.
Okay.
First and foremost, who I think might be up there, we have to start here because if we don't start here, the show's going to end before you talk about them. Where does Funky Love rank on your top 5?
Oh, my God.
How much you hate Funky Love?
Oh.
Would you like to split them up, or are you okay with them being a duo?
Oh, no. You might as well keep them together.
Okay.
That's how they kiss Vince's ass. One is on the left cheek, one is on the right.
That's fair. Jesse, your hatred for these two men has gone beyond wrestling to
They're number one.
We're just going to start with your number one.
I mean, because for them, it's not just the lipstick and the makeup now. They got on full clown uniforms.
They got the shoes.
They got the honks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's full clown mode. Like, they come into a little clown car. They hop out with big clown shoes. Yeah. Why are they clowns? They're definitely number one.
Well, the reason why we're not going to have you go on any farther is because you could do an entire show on how much you hate those two gentlemen. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you here.
Okay.
But you've clearly expressed your hatred for this man.
Okay.
Not so much hate, just disgust.
Okay.
Scorpio Sky, where does he rank in your top 5 on our show? Because I think Scorpio Sky's made it.
Surprisingly?
Yep.
Wouldn't be in the top 5.
He's not in your top 5.
He's top 10.
Okay.
And not in the top 5?
Not in the top 5.
He's an honorable mention, but why is he such an honorable mention?
He's the guy.
Yep.
He's the guy that said, I'm going to take the brass ring, the joke, the stupid joke thing that they did.
Yep.
And I'm going to make something of it.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm that damn good as a pro wrestler. And he is.
He's had 20 years in the business.
20 years in the business. Almost 40 years old. Getting close.
Yep.
What has he done since then?
Well, he is a former tag team champion.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. Now he's a guy who proves every week to me, and again, I've been in wrestling for a while,
Mm-hmm.
As a backstage guy, but it's pretty obvious that him and Ethan Page have no chemistry on camera.
So,
zero.
Leroy, I have a question for you.
Over to you, Leroy.
Okay.
You're at your job.
Yes.
And you get this up-and-comer coming in, and he wants to be helpful as you're training him. And at first, he's doing so good. Even though you know in your head, you know how the company works. He's going to be kind of disappointed, but you want to see him continue to try. And as he continues to try, all of a sudden, it looks like, you know what, the kid might actually become something really important here. And then it's like he stops caring. He starts coming in late. What's your thought on that, kid?
I'm going to slap him and put him in his place.
Why is he a clown? Exactly.
That too.
What? He has done nothing since winning the brass ring. He became a heel. That should have been interesting, right?
Yep.
Nothing. And then has the nerve to go on this podcast with Ethan and have the nerve to go, I love my time in AEW. I think we're a big, happy family. I have no problem with my spot. You make me sick. It's not even, see, he's not even a ha-ha clown. I think when I think of Scorpio Sky, I think of the sad clown from America's Got Talent. Except unlike the clown from America's Got Talent, I don't want to hear from Scorpio Sky. So he's definitely top 10, but he's
All
not
right,
top
all right, all
5.
right.
Okay.
Jesse, where does the chairman rank on your
Oh, he's
clowns?
definitely number 4.
Number 4.
If not for your wife, sir, no one would give a shit about you. No one would give a shit about this run. And listen, I love Steven Larson. And listen, wrestling is subjective. And they can defend this man as much as they want. But it is clear he is a waste of time. Anytime he's on TV, he comes down in the open suit with the open chest and all that, and he's hitting people with the chair. And my whole time, and I'm watching it, and I go, can you hit yourself with that fucking thing so I don't have to watch you anymore?
This is why I waited till the end of the show.
What a clown. So number 4 is Sean Spears.
Jesse, where does the 2021 version of the Good Brothers rank? Because that's where it all started.
That is true.
That's
That is
this
where it all started. Oh, yeah.
They've been saved by their brothers, the Young Bucks. They're only number 5.
All right.
They've been saved by their recent run in going back to Impact and doing New Japan Strong. They're number 5. Because at the beginning of 2021,
They're almost number 1?
they would have been number 1.
Okay, all right.
Because Carl Anderson was talking all that shit about WWE.
He was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, look where you are now. You're doing absolutely nothing. At least you were in tag team title matches. At least you got to hang around Finn Balor and not Adam Cole,
AJ?
and AJ Styles, and you look like a threat. No, not when you get to go back and hang with your boys, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. No.
Yep.
You come out dancing like monkeys in the circus while you're wearing the Impact Tag Team titles. And, we're going to wear these stupid little long earrings, man. We're so cool.
The berets.
Give them a little hats.
Why were they clowns? They're one of the best tag teams in the world.
Yep.
But luckily for them, Impact saved them. You know what they should go do? They should go. I apologize to the man. They should go offer to wash his dirty drawers the next 6 months. And I'm talking about Scott D'Amore. Go, sir, we will wash your drawers as part of our contract because you saved our career. But they're number 5.
Number 5.
All right. Oof.
We have a 1, we have a 4, and a 5.
Yes.
Jesse, where does Don Callis rank on your clown?
Actually not ranked.
All right.
Ooh.
So not even an honorable mention for Mr. Pepto-Bismol.
Because I never have taken this clown seriously. I didn't take him serious when I was a kid. I don't take him serious now. Don Callis has always been a waste of time to me. You know, he's been a great promo in his day. There's no doubt about that. I think as a manager, there's actually an argument to make that back in the day,
the Jackal was good.
Right. You could consider him a top 10 manager of all time. He was that damn good.
Yeah.
But Don Callis has been a waste of time for 15 years.
Fair enough.
As a matter of fact, the last time he was good, my balls hadn't dropped yet.
Fair enough.
So I've never even taken this man seriously.
Enough.
So that,
I'm going to throw a curveball at Jesse before we get to the obvious.
Okay.
Jesse, where does Torture Club rank on your list of clowns?
After Wrestle Kingdom, they're number 3.
What?
What?
I didn't think they'd make the top 10.
What? I gotta move back. What the fuck was that, Gato? He booked 20 dudes to beat 1. 20! You literally took all the good parts that made Bullet Club really awesome in New Japan, brought the Western style to New Japan, and you said, let's jumble this up like a WBDC movie. Let's just fuck this whole thing up. Let's put all this.
There's a phrase for you.
Let's Snyderverse this fucking thing.
Oh my!
Let's just add as much bullshit as we can to muck it up so bad that people want to kill each other over it. What are you doing? Evil was the champion.
Yep.
Evil was your world heavyweight champion.
This was the only thing that made Jesse hate Wrestle Kingdom. No, not the only thing, but it was definitely the worst thing.
This was the worst thing I've seen on Wrestle Kingdom in 6 years.
Yep.
This was terrible. And it's been bad since it's a damn shame because it's not show's fault. But since they added him, it's been fucking horrible. Why are they clowns?
Well, As we like to do, we're going to add a little palate cleanser in between courses. Jesse, where does your boy Yano rank? Yano never change.
See, but he's not a bad clown. See,
He's a good
he's
clown.
in the top 10, but he's a good clown. He's supposed to be a clown.
Yano never change.
Yano never change.
As we say at the show, Yano, please never change.
He's supposed to entertain you. He's not a bad clown. So he wouldn't even be on this list. He'd be on the good list.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. He'd be, and by the way, top 10 is a lot. He'd be number 1 as far as
fair.
most entertaining clown wrestlers. It's clearly Yano.
Yeah.
Like Doink.
Yano never
He's
change.
better
Let's
than.
get to number 2. Okay. Young Bucks.
We're not even going to try to give him an
You don't
intro.
even need to ask.
Nope.
Young Bucks.
No.
You've been watching pro wrestling longer than me.
Yeah.
But I must admit, I do probably watch it much more religiously than you do.
I would say
You
so.
do, yes.
I would say
And
so.
listen, at indie shows, I always give mistakes a pass. They're usually young wrestlers. They're learning the business.
Yep.
One of our favorites that we had on the show, Rampage Santana, he's a bright spot because you're like, man, he seems to get it.
Yep.
Like he's very good. He understands his character. He's very good.
His first year was the last year, so
right.
he spent it in a
great.
year.
And he's very good. It held the new MAW champion. Very, very good. I think only a year and a half in is Drew. Very good. You know what I hope they never do? I hope they never think they're too big for their own britches. I hope they never think, you know what? We're better than the big stars. We're better than we think we are. You know what? We're going to spit in the face of a guy I hardly agree with, but he's usually right about the minutia of pro wrestling. Because one thing I've always given Jim Cornette is he is a historian. He understands his shit.
Anything
He
that's
does.
ever happened since the dawn of the Great Depression, he pretty much knows.
So
yes.
while I may not agree with what he thinks pro wrestling should be now,
I agree.
I do love his technicality thought of pro wrestling because him and Paul Heyman and me can share a room, and I think I would be happy to die in that room and talk pro wrestling. I can admit that. Even if a couple of times I might think about choking out Jim.
That's fair.
Which I'm sure he's like a lot of people probably want to choke me out. And I think
probably,
he
yeah.
understands
To
why.
be fair, Jim knows that list is ever growing. It's ever growing.
Oh yeah.
But the Young Bucks, no. No one never wanted us. By the way, it's a bullshit story that they keep telling.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit story. Just because you felt like you got lowball most of your career didn't mean people didn't want you. They just were giving you what they thought you were worth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep, definitely.
You still can't sell almost 16 years in? 16! You're supposed to be the main eventers, and you can't sell? 2 weeks ago, I watched them take fucking double super kicks in steel chairs, and they got up no less than 5 seconds later. Good job, boys. Let's just ruin pro wrestling. Let's just ruin... And they've brainwashed people. See, thank God for you, Zach. Thank God. Zach has shown me there is hope. There is hope. Because he used to love the Young Bucks.
It's a lot of rehab. I'll tell you that.
Like,
much.
and it's... They brainwash. It's abuse is what it is. It's not you guys' fault. They abuse you guys.
That's
they
true.
made you-
I think that's true.
They
Yeah.
made you guys believe this hype. It was never real. It was because I've been watching them since 2008. They put on the same fucking match since 2008. And they have the nerve, the fucking fortitude to go out there and tell people, we know what we're doing. Why are you clowns? 16 years in. The only thing I congratulate them on is that they made $1 million without WWE.
That's fair.
Good for you, because it feels damn near impossible to do for an indie wrestler.
All right.
So good for you.
Even though people think we've gotten...
By the way, what's even worse?
Yep.
You've now embarrassed the whole town, because 5 other wrestlers followed you
Cucamonga?
out of that town of El Cucamonga, whatever the fuck it's called.
El
Rancho
Cucamonga.
Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho never gonna have wrestlers come out that bitch again. Followed you, and they're all jobbers now. Good job, boys.
All right, so people think that that's the end. No, I think we need to get... So we have a top 5. We have an honorable mentions list that has begun with Scorpio Sky. Leroy, I think we're missing a couple of people that Jesse...
You think so?
That Jesse has consistently brought up on the show.
Okay.
And Jesse, I think we have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
First of all, we're just going to obviously bring up Mr. Omega. I'm not going to ask you to go too deep into it because, like I said, I think the other one's going to piss you off more, but go right ahead.
He's number 8.
Okay.
Oh.
He's depressing.
He's a little, yes.
I seen Kenny in PWG. I watched a lot of his coming up in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that gets me. See, the Bucks is the one where I can kind of make the joke, but you kind of saw it a long time ago, Zach.
Yeah.
I used to believe hard.
Kenny's nickname outside of New Japan, which was given to him by not only Sports Illustrated but a bunch of other places, he was the quote best bout machine in professional wrestling.
When we saw him, we went. He tells a story. He didn't do the happy feet shit he does now. He moves gracefully, and
that was the thing. He's not even the same in ring.
No,
he's not, and don't tell me that he is.
He didn't give the breathy promos like. I believed in my heart of hearts that this was the best pro wrestler in the world.
Maybe the white Canadian speaks better Japanese than he does English, apparently.
That may be.
I don't know if it was the Joshi wrestler. I don't know if he got into the Japanese weed. I don't know. It's because all they do is fill up each other as friends, allegedly. I mean, they don't even allegedly talk in AEW. That he does not see how much he's fallen as Kenny Omega.
The one-winged angel lost the other wing.
And PWI didn't make it any fucking better by naming him the best wrestler 2021. What a joke. I laughed out loud.
You did.
Audibly.
You did.
Sarcastically. It's depressing because my eyes told me, dude, this is the best wrestler in the world. I got to see him in WWE. And now I go, oh, thank God.
The sad part about it is, I think, to be serious for half a second. Oh, hold on, Jesse, your catchphrase at the end of that.
Why is he a clown?
Okay.
This one's depressing.
You know, Leroy, the sad part about it is WWE would have just looked at his tape in Japan and said, we're just going to add a little production to it.
Right.
We're not going to change it.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that he's doing in ring to try to, quote, be more of an American style, because that's what he's trying to do.
Right.
We all know.
Right.
No one needs to tell me that.
Right.
He can even look at me and tell me that that's not what he's doing. That's what you're doing,
that's
bro.
That's exactly what you're doing.
But WWE would have just enhanced his greatness and hidden the flaws.
Right.
But there's nobody, and again, as much talent as they have backstage, from Billy Gunn to Jerry Lynn to all these great people, to Arn Anderson, you name it, Tully Blanchard, one of the greats right there. None of them know what Vince knows about hiding things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to production.
Yep.
Vince might have taught them a lot of what they know.
Right.
Even though Jerry, again, never worked a lot with Vince.
Right.
But he didn't teach him everything he knows.
Right.
All right. So, Jesse, there's a few more.
Okay.
I'm sorry, there is.
Okay. That was the depressing one.
I believe you had a little bit of a Cedric Alexander kick there for a little
Woo!
bit. Simply because you sat there and you were like, you were a heel in PWG. Why don't you just do that? But please, if you would. Is he an honorable mention, though? Does he deserve to be that high?
He's not in the top 10.
Okay.
But it isn't a either angry or depressing. It's just like, hey, why is he a clown? It's a question mark because I watched him.
And by the way, folks,
destroy little pretty Johnny Gargano's wife.
Folks, I did put someone from WWE in there. This isn't just Jesse.
Right.
These are the top clowns that Jesse said. Sadly, a lot of them just happen to be in the same place.
Unfortunately,
which, by the way, we'll be going back to.
Because this is a WWE guy, Cedric Alexander. Also,
you watched him damn near kill Candice LeRae.
I mean, it was
the fact that, you know what? Fuck it, I'll say it. The fact that she was able to have a child after that bump.
That's the real miracle. the way she bounced, that's the real miracle. I saw this man in the CWC.
Yes.
Now, it's not all on him.
No.
It's not all on him. They have failed to book cruiserweights not named Rey Mysterio for some reason. They just have in WWE.
Well, but also I think Rey comes from a cultural background of understanding that part of his gimmick, he's a cartoon.
Right.
He understands that.
Right.
Because because I would say the modern day luchador is so influenced by American visuals.
Right.
that he doesn't accept what it used to be, what lucha libre was in Mexico for years, which was an entertainment.
Right.
Rey Mysterio is the last of that. Well, I feel like Dominic will definitely understand it.
Yeah.
But Rey Mysterio, and again, no offense, under any circumstances to any great luchador.
Right.
We should do a great luchador list here coming up here in a couple of weeks. But Jesse, he is arguably the king of lucha.
I agree.
Because Rey, he got it.
Right.
He understood what lucha was and what it could become.
Right. And it's weird with Cedric because I'm just like, you had a couple opportunities.
Because I feel like Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik, whether they like it or not, they were being booked pretty well in WWE based on what classic luchadors get booked in America.
I actually think they probably were going to win the tag titles, and then Metalik, I believe, it was the one that got hurt.
Yeah. Yes.
And so because of that, they were never going to push Lince as a singles wrestler, because I mean they really did try with Kalisto, to be fair to him.
Yeah,
I know he was a little upset, but they did try. They put the United States title
and
on
the Intercontinental
title,
and
listen, they gave him a good run. They gave him good opponents to beat.
Yeah,
it just it never got over. So Cedric's outside of the top 10 because it's not all his fault.
Okay,
but he is there.
All right, Jesse, you have avoided explaining to our beautiful audience, and you people are a wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, we love our audience.
You have ignored slightly explaining to it. Now, okay, all right. Before I get to that,
okay,
I have to say Chuck E. T, but you're just mad at his booking. It's not so much him.
Right.
He's been clownly booked, but he has not himself been
to
a
me.
clown.
I have on a top 20 clown list. He wouldn't even make the top 100.
Okay.
Because in AEW, I don't believe it's his fault.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
You have the first time that we mentioned this man, and he's got a partner, but this man specifically, this might have been one of your biggest loss.
Okay.
In terms of just pure insanity.
Okay.
Brandon Cutler.
Oh my fucking God!
He wasn't even thinking about him.
I'm sorry to use the Lord's name in vain.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Oh my God!
You might need a priest for this.
He came out of retirement for this.
What was Brandon Cutler pre-clown?
He wasn't this. He was better than this. He was actually a serious wrestler. Now, I wouldn't put him on the Adam Pearce level. For those who don't know, Adam Pearce is a former 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, he is.
He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, who, by the way, kind of teased that maybe he'll be in the Rumble because he had his old boots on him.
Which I would have no problem with.
By the way, because I think people should see how good of a wrestler
he's in the NWA Hall of Fame.
He's that damn good, people.
He is that good.
He's that damn
good. I know.
Jesse, don't forget. Don't forget when NWA
he held that belt.
Yes, he did.
Jesse, don't forget when NWA split from TNA and they held that giant tournament. You had the American Dragon. You had Cesaro. You had talent. He won that.
He won that.
People don't realize that because all the people, especially the PWL, are like, I don't want to see him. I'm like, it would be an honor for his boots to be in the Royal Rumble.
It would be definitely.
It truly would.
Right. But Brandon Cutler. See, Brandon Cutler reminds me of the New York Jets.
Oh boy!
My favorite football team. Because
by the way, Brandon Cutler is only 34.
Really?
He's only 34.
Who cares?
Yeah, I should go home.
He could be 24.
This also hurts. Trained by Matt and Nick Jackson. That's all. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that's where it all went wrong at the beginning. Because
I think so.
I swore I watched this man put on really good matches a couple of times. I've flown out to California to go see pro wrestling. And now, after he retired, he walked away. He walked away to go just be a family man, work a regular job.
2011 was when he
right.
Yeah.
And they bring him back, and I was excited. The only Buck sprint I was excited about, because I said this is his chance. He gets to get the chance to be on TV. Athletic, kind of lanky, so not really WWE body type, but he's a really good wrestler.
Surprisingly, though, he is 6'2". So I mean, like,
on camera, basically, like in person and on camera, he looks bigger than that. Because he's so lanky.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
He's an honorable mention, no doubt.
Oh, no. He's not. Oh, he's definitely number 8 or 9. He's holding the camera. He was carrying Kenny's bags.
And a bottle of cold. No. Kenny's personal assistant's next. But no. Cold spray as well. He had cold spray. That's his new gimmick.
God, not my. Anyway. God. Anyway. Oh, it gets worse from Brandon Cutler. I will say this, Leroy. Brandon Cutler is a guy that if I went and showed you the old tapes, and we were hanging out in 2012, and I'm like, man, I wish WWE would bring him to this NXT project you're talking about. You'd be like, man, I would love to see this guy. Like, he's kind of excited. I think the kids would love him. Had a really cool gimmick. It's funny, he was trained by them because he actually wrestles better than them. And now he's being told to shut up. Shut up, Brandon. Don't look at us when you hold the camera. He's a clown. Honk honk. I'm Brandon Cutler.
But
I'm just a young buck bitch.
But we can't put makeup on him because he's got a mask on.
Oh, you can put makeup on the mask.
That's fair.
Michael not gonna work in pro wrestling for very much longer.
Does he have anything to go back to in Japan? Mind you, this guy was in one of the very first AEW segments, period, because he was the first guy to do his indie shit in that battle royal with the baby oil. So people, we're talking about a guy in Michael Nakazawa who was legitimately in the was legitimately in WWE's face as the opening match to All Elite Wrestling in their very first pay-per-view. This was for a shot at the world title, by the way. Just want to point that out. But
yep, there you go.
This used to be one of the best pro wrestlers to come out of the country of Turkey. And now he is a turkey. That's what Kenny and the Young Bucks have done to Michael not going to work in the wrestling anymore.
They plucked his feathers.
Is I think, if I remember correctly,
the baby oil was the fun part of his gimmick. Because what it was supposed to be was his comeback as a babyface, where he would do a clothesline, he would oil up, and the heel could never get a hand on him, but he could get a hand on the heel. The underwear thing is some shit he started when he got to AEW. To me, that was the first time I went, this is terrible.
From what I remember, I think the only way to get him into the U.S. was for him to basically be Kenny's assistant.
Yes.
That was the only way to basically get him into
yes.
the U.S.